everybody, welcome back to the Giant Beastcast. Here we go, folks. We're in the straightaway. We've got 2021 right in front of us. It is put your head down, move those feet. Let's get moving. Move your pizza to 2021's pizza is what they say. It is episode 289 here on the Giant Beastcast. December, would you believe it if I said December 3rd? Or December 4th if you're listening to this on a Friday. I'm joined by Alex Navarro.
You are, and please do not put feet and pizza in the same mental space. I don't need that in my life.
Move your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza. Jeff Bacalar.
Where did that come from? Hi, great to be here, everyone.
It's from that the Last Dragon, Enter the Bruce Lee parody movie, the Dragon.
Yeah, that one. Look. I'm not here to judge or talk about pizza feet, although I have been playing and absorbing tons of Ninja Turtle stuff, so I'm a new expert on.
So you are an expert in not only pizza but the Foot Clan. So you are absolutely.
I didn't even make that connection, but
yes.
that tracks. The Foot Clan. I know about Orokusaki and what's his face, the Yoshi guy. Like I'm all about Turtles lore. I'm learning about. The dark side of Ninja Turtles that was before the cartoon, the Image comic. Apparently, it was an Image or whatever comic it was.
I think it might have been Valiant, but
yeah, whatever it was. It is like I had no idea where. Like, how did they bring Ninja Turtles to the 80s cartoon that we know and love from the dark, awful, violent place that it originated from?
A lot of hard work and money.
That's it.
Somebody said somebody in a room was
Mirage.
Like, let's goof it up a little bit, you know? Let's just goof it up.
Like, let's make these radical dudes
instead of dark murdering machines. Instead of angsty teenagers who are kind of battling with both being mutants and teens. Alex, are you frozen or is that
in the worst possible way I've ever seen? Oh, somebody record this. Oh, good, you are. I think Alex is stuck frozen thinking about Ninja Turtles and how crazy it was that, you know, they went from dark to sort of radical.
There we go. He's ascended. I need a more.
We can pack it in. Pack it in. That's it.
Well, if you're listening to the audio version, that'll make no sense. Just know that Alex was in ecstasy for a little bit there. Folks, it's the Giant Beastcast. Here we go.
Someone might have dropped the wood on his internet, maybe.
Oh, the plywood. He had been having that problem with his internet just dying. Remember that? Remember, it was just like his router would just go out. So hopefully that's not still happening.
Let me tell you something. Okay?
Yeah, tell me something.
Nothing fucking works the way it's supposed to.
No. Nothing works the way it's supposed to, and I'm going to piggyback on this if we're just going to complain until Alex gets back. I did a little complaining in pre-show, but I can do that. I'm in a salty mood today. I am tired of people or things that I use and usually pay for asking me how it is. You want to rate this thing? I'm like, I don't actually. I'm okay. It's like it's okay. Stop asking me. Not now? Okay, not now. But not now is fine.
How about the fact that I get that request to review shit before the product even entered my home? I bought the goddamn thing a month ago, and a week later, they're like, "Hey, how do you feel about the thing you just bought? We know we didn't even ship it out to you yet.
If you could just, how'd you get my email? Don't worry about that part. You signed something like 20 years ago that lets you, and we all have your email address now. But anyway, if you could just leave a little something for me on this can opener you bought, really help.
We've been on the internet long enough where we can be old ornery men. Yelling at the internet for its bullshit.
Oh yeah. Nah, probably not. But you know what I'm saying though.
Like, I don't need to rate everything.
Rate everything. The Xbox app on my PC was like, "Want to rate this?" It's like, I don't know. Who's even looking at this? It got 5 stars. The Xbox app got 5 stars. Guys, Xbox app 4 stars. Average this week. I don't think it's going so well. Like, I don't know.
You've downloaded the app for doing rating. Would you like to rate the rating app?
I shouldn't complain because we do stuff where, I thank you to everyone who fills out those surveys and it's like, hey, how is this stuff doing for advertisers?
Oh, sure. When it's like data collection for monetization, like, you
gotta do that.
Important.
Well, you might win a free iPad. Who knows? So yeah, I wonder. I close most of my apps when we do this show. Speaking of which, I guess I should have rated them all. If you're listening to the audio version, we're still seeing if Alex will join us, be able to come back in some form or another. Here he comes. Here he is. Hi. Was that your internet thing?
Did you figure it out?
I mean, I just rebooted my modem. I've been having this weird problem where it will just drop out in the afternoon a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not every day. Like on Monday, nothing happened, but like the last couple of days, it's been bad. So
that stinks. That's stinky poo.
Nothing I can do about it. But I didn't stop my recording, so we can just keep going.
Oh, great. Let's get into. I haven't played too much. It's been. If you missed the pre-show, I was complaining that it has felt extremely busy recently, and I don't have a lot to show for it. I feel like I've been busy with busy work and not busy with the kind of stuff I enjoy doing, which is producing stuff and trying to make the world a better place. It has been filling out forms and doing stuff, jumping on stuff that's like, you need this today. So, recorded the Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead with Jan. I need to process that. I'll probably do that tomorrow. The quick look for that. That game is harder than it looks. I think I talked about this a little bit last week, or a lot last week. It's a Bridge Constructor game, but also you have waypoints for the characters that are in The Walking Dead crossing the bridges and stuff, and they can take actions at the waypoints, which makes the game weird and also makes the game a little more complicated than your normal bridge construction. Also, you're making bridges that are supposed to fall apart at certain points, and you're building traps. It's challenging. Also, the pricing structure seems very odd across platforms, where I think it is, I want to say it's $10 on PC, $15 on console, and then there's a mobile version for like $2. So I did not try the mobile version nor the console version, just the PC version. So other than that, interesting use of the Bridge Constructor stuff. You know, that's a format that could use a little variation.
How many of those have they made at this point? Like, how many Bridge Constructor things have there been?
It's hard for me to say because there are a couple of bridge constructing franchises. There's Portal Bridge Constructor, which is amazing.
That's cool. Right. Yeah, that's really good.
That's a really fun one. I'm not enjoying this one as much, but there are. I don't know if like the medieval Bridge Constructor is the same Bridge Constructor. I would have to look and see. So. A lot of constructing of bridges. Building bridges. And as Jan pointed out, if anybody is a fan of The Walking Dead, I'm going to steal... Jan, thank you for your observation and joke. I'm going to steal it and use it here. Just full credit. Ibid? What's the book thing? Whatever. Doesn't matter. The guy, Daryl, do you guys know The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, he's the guy. Isn't he the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Rick.
It's the guy...
Rick's the guy.
No, it's the brother, Daryl, and the other brother, Daryl.
The guy from Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus
is in the game about bridges again.
Yeah.
Huh?
But is it actually?
It
him,
is.
Or is it just his likeness?
I mean, there's no voice acting.
Well, that's what I was asking. Did they actually get Norman Reedus into a booth to talk about bridge constructing?
Not this time.
Okay.
They should have just licensed it out from Death Stranding.
Did they get him in to just like squint for 9 hours?
It's like it's a draw. Yeah, it's a draw version of him. It's actually Norman Reedus, and then his squint is a character. They separate at some point. My squint became a zombie. I don't know. Does Norman Reedus have an impression?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think like what the discerning characteristic about Norman Reedus is, other than the squintiness, and I don't think there really is one. Other than he kind of looks like a guy that would buy you beer when you were a teenager.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like has definitely done a lot of tailgating in his life, for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I think he seems like a laid back dude. I love that like during all of like Death Stranding, it looked very obvious that like he didn't really know what anything was about that game.
It didn't seem important to him either.
No,
like it didn't. He was just rolling with it.
So no one knows what the hell's going on with that game. But was fun
it
to watch
definitely
him
seemed like
experience that.
he definitely seemed like game for whatever was happening.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
I'll get naked.
I
cool.
was gonna get naked anyway. Well, now what are
Yeah.
you want to cover me in goo? Sure, sure. I mean, did we start filming yet? Let's
You
go.
want to dunk me upside down in that?
Do you need to render my weenus?
Ooh,
Also,
the
this-
Reedus weenus.
that's too real, right?
also, does
right now.
anybody need me to buy him beer? I played some of that. I played some other stuff we'll talk about later at another date. Very little bit. And I'm trying to think if I actually touched anything else on the weekend. My son beat Spider-Man and then decided to Miles Morales and then decided to just start playing it again. Just New Game Plus. Here we go again. I was like, do you want to try something else? No. I just want to play Miles Morales again. Do you want to let Dad have a chance on the PS5? Maybe for 5 minutes. No. Do you want to play Sackboy so that I can actually play the PS5 at some point since this thing has come into the house? No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Miles Morales is a fun game, and I want to continue playing it. So good on him.
I mean, that's a game that you totally can like roll right back into because it's like 12 hours long total. And it's like, I 100%ed that game, and I haven't 100%ed an open world game. Actually, no, I think I might have 100%ed. I don't remember if I did every single thing in Ghost of Tsushima, but I got real close. But I definitely I hit the 100% mark on Miles Morales, which I have not done very much with very many games recently. Both because one, it's very, very good, and two, it was not the investment that a lot of these other games are in terms of doing that.
Well, so I got to see different points of it, and he stuck with it. I didn't. There was no like give the controller to me to finish a boss fight or do anything like that. And I saw him struggling with some of the stuff at the end, but he managed to persevere and do it. And good on him.
The game can get hard, man. That's a hard.
There's some
game.
tough parts. Yeah, some of those challenges are pretty rough.
He didn't get like gold star on all the challenges, but good on him. And so I want to continue playing that, and I only played very little bit. I did play a little of the Sackboys Adventure stuff with my kids, and I don't know. Like that's.
Oh, I'm playing that. We love it.
Yeah.
Why you don't like it?
Well, it's
You hate cute shit. You don't like stuff that's like twee and shit.
Yeah, everybody knows. First of all, I hate stuff that's cute, so that's one strike against it. I hate fun.
I'm always saying that.
Hate fun. And there's no murder. So what am I even doing here? What do we
Depends
even,
what you
what
call
are we even
murder.
doing?
Depends how you define murder.
It is fun. I found it not. Maybe it's not something I want to play for more than like 20 or 30 minutes at a time because I feel like it doesn't change up what you do in it that often. It's for me.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if this is how we're gonna leave Sackboy, I just
No. Talk more about Sackboy.
Give me the Sackboy.
Yeah, I mean, I said this early on. I was like, my kid just loves playing that game, and I'll say this, all right. I don't know if that's the game that I would see through to completion on my own, but having this tandem with the little guy, it's like it makes it fun. It makes it and he's still a little, he's like a gentle kind of guy, and some of the enemies like look a little creepy to him, and he's just like, oh, I don't know if I could beat this one. I'm like, you're just saying that because you don't necessarily like how they look. You are very much capable of taking on this boss. You're just scared by its appearance, and he sucks it up, and it's really like a fun thing for sure. I'm into it. And I love how it looks. It just looks so good.
It does look pretty good.
Okay, maybe not as good as I thought, but
it's got a look. It's got a look. No, it's a looker. Played that Tetris Co-op. What's that new one called?
Like that?
Tetris Connected. It's fun. I played that with my son and daughter. That game gets hard. It gets hard in a way once you're a couple deep in where it everybody has to kind of be on their game.
Look, every generation needs to have its ass kicked by its respective Tetris at some point. So this is theirs, and they have to be beaten down by it. That's the way Tetris works.
And the when you play with the AI in the connected mode, I don't know if they revive. I think they might just be out once they're out, or at least that's what it seemed like. So pull your weight, AI. Anything else? Oh, geez. How'd I forget this one? The Ori and the
new one.
Ori and the newish one. What is Ori? Not the Will of the Wisp. What's the?
Yes, it's the Will of the Wisps.
No, it is the Will of the Wisps.
What's
Blind Forest? Was the
Blind
first one.
Forest.
It's
Okay,
their will.
It's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I have been enjoying that, and I'm glad to be playing that on the Xbox Series X. I think that is a good looking game.
Yes.
It is. Did you play that at all when it first came out? Okay.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like I knew it was going to be, or they didn't say right away, but when I heard that it was getting all those optimizations, I was like, all right, I'm gonna hold off and do it the right way. That's
a fun game. I'm enjoying that. I'm gonna play some more of that this weekend. So fun. I forgot I played. It's been a heck of a week. Alex, play anything interesting? Anything new on the horizon?
Nothing new, but I made some significant progress in some stuff that I've been playing. I mean, as I said, 100% in Miles Morales. I really like that game a lot. And it has its flaws here and there, but like I think as an introductory, like, playable game for Miles Morales, the character, and seemingly possibly setting up some kind of co-op Spider-Man for down the road. It is a really good showcase for that character, like, his place in the universe. And, like the villain, the energy corporation stuff is like pretty generic for the most part, but I think they tie it all together at the end pretty damn well. They make the big moments in that game matter. And it feels so fucking good to just swing around that goddamn city using like the DualSense. Like everything about the way that game feels and the way it moves and everything snaps is just really, it's tight in a way that I think makes me actually feel like the old Spider-Man is a little more hinky than I remember it being. Because I did boot up the remastered version. I was kind of like, I just want to see what I got here. And it's like, obviously it's very similar, but like there's just something about Miles and the way that game moves and everything flows in that game that I'm much more into.
I like really like Miles as a character. I think I said this last time. I really like the character and the way they portray Miles in the game. I also like the way, like the proportions and stuff of Miles and the kind of gangly nature of Miles when he's swinging around. Like he's just like a praying mantis. Like very very spindly, but I like it. It probably has something to do with my love of Into the Spider-Verse, the movie, and the way that looks. And it looks like it's taking a lot of cues from that, or both of those things are taking cues from a source I don't know. In the way that animates. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's like threads that needle pretty well of reminding you just enough of the most recent Miles Morales thing everyone loved while not just doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a carbon copy of, the aesthetics and the vibes of, the Spider-Verse, which, I mean, look, I would be totally happy to see that animation style they apply to that one suit applied to a larger game and, some of the frame rate stuff.
And bring that soundtrack in and just make that whole thing.
I mean, look, all that stuff is great, but I think for them being like, this is our established Spider-Man universe, the Insomniac verse, they pull just enough things that are familiar without just straight up aping the other stuff. And I think that's they walk a fine line, but they do a good job of it.
Yeah, and it feels like a very positive game. There's there's something very positive about it.
Ooh, can you hear that pounding?
A little bit.
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah.
Tap.
Yeah.
Could
There's someone banging on my roof.
Stop. The goddamn hammer.
Hey, I'm podcasting over here.
Hey, shut up.
I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah,
they can't hear me.
They respect that. No, he's podcasting. Anything else, Alex?
Yeah, so I've been still working my way through both Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Yakuza 7. Kind of just alternating between those whenever I can. I'm kind of done with PS5 games at the moment. Like I finished Astro and I finished Miles Morales, and that's kind of all I have on the horizon right now. So I might actually just boot. I might end up getting Cyberpunk on PS5 just because I want to use that system more.
No Demon Souls for you? Not hearing the lore, the siren call? No? Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
No, look, I love From Software. The games they make these days are not for me, and that's all right.
Okay.
But so, I think I'm about 40 hours into Valhalla at this point, and probably just slightly under that for Yakuza, probably like 30-ish. And I like both. Like I like Yakuza a fair amount, though there are some things about it that I'm still not sure where they're going with it. And I've Ben hasn't spoiled anything for me, but I've talked to him a little bit here and there, and the way he's apparently soured on some of the things that happen later in the game make me wonder if I'm going to have a similar opinion. I don't know. But for where I'm at right now, like there's a lot going on in the plot. There are a lot of ins and outs, a lot of things happening, a lot of competing interests all converging on Ijincho, the Yokohama neighborhood that is the zone that you are hanging out in that game. Look, the thing is, as a JRPG life simulator in Japan, as a thing where you go around and you were hanging out in this neighborhood, but you were also fighting turn-based battles against ridiculous people, it's weird and it's fun in all the ways that I want a Yakuza game to be.
Okay.
There are just aspects of the story and some of the characterizations that I'm just like not 100% sold on, but I'm also trying to reserve my judgment until I like get to the end of it and see where it's all going, because sometimes that stuff pays off in a great way and sometimes it really doesn't, so it's that studio. As much as I love those games, not every Yakuza game is great, so we'll see kind of where it ends up.
Reserve your judgment.
Yes, exactly.
Your judgment
too.
Yeah.
Vinny, you haven't played much of any Valhalla yet, have you?
None. Not a lick of Valhalla.
I am compelled to finish it because I know that whatever they do at the end is going to be extremely stupid. That is something they set up pretty early on, that some dumb shit is probably going to happen. And, the way that stuff went in Odyssey leads me to believe that we will probably end up somewhere very, very stupid in the end. And I need to see that. But the actual game, like the quests, the adventure, the things that are happening to Ivor, none of it is really hitting me like at all. Like it's not bad. Like there are bad things, like there have been some bad quest lines, some bad character moments, some bad stuff in there that I didn't really enjoy. But there's also been plenty of stuff that's just like fine. And then, even a couple of moments are like, oh, this is interesting, I'm into it. But like I'm 40 hours into this game.
It's a lot of hours.
And I know that there's a lot left because I have literally unlocked like 5 of the regions as opposed to, the whole map. So, but it's just, there's this, I don't know if it's the pace of it or if it's just the characters not being as interesting or what, but just everything has this very flat feel to it. Like there is the spikes are very small, and the dips are maybe a little bit more dippy than the spikes are spiky.
Somebody put a compressor on Assassin's Creed and it's basically flattened the entire thing.
They levelated Assassin's Creed, and but like it doesn't sound good afterwards.
Sure.
And I don't know. And I don't know if it's just like, it's been 2 years since the last one. So it's not like immediate fatigue with the series. It's more that just like this game doesn't seem to really have a whole lot happening with its story other than, just it's a Viking quest. You're in Viking land. You are building your settlement. And I'm not saying there's not wild shit in that game. There's a whole fucking aspect of that game that is purely about taking substances and having hallucinations in multiple ways. There's a small one where you just take mushrooms and then you just have to go on very brief drug trips. While Ivor says some shit that only a person who has done a lot of mushrooms would say. But there's also this whole other aspect where there's like the local mystic who is part of your community wants you to start, to come to her so she can give you this stuff so you can go on these vision quests. And there's a whole thing where you are, and mild spoilers here, but very, very mild. I'm not going to say anything that happens. There's basically a whole fucking quest line where you are in Asgard in that game. And you keep going back to Asgard and are living through aspects of, Norse mythology, stories of Norse mythology in Asgard.
I like the way you say Asgard. So
is there another way to say Asgard?
That's like a special kind of underwear.
Is it Asgard or is it Asgard? Because I like the way you say Asgard.
I don't care.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to. It's Asgard.
Asgard. You should buy a free pack of Asgard brand.
I have some Asgard for riding on my bicycle. It pads my butt, stops a little butt fatigue. So yeah, tell me about him.
I used to wear an Asgard in hockey when I used to play hockey.
Yeah. Remember, so you don't break your tailbone. So tell me more.
So your ass.
He's in Asgard talking to Thor.
Yeah, Thor's there, Loki's there,
Uh-huh.
Freya's there, the whole gang. The
Okay.
whole gang's hanging out there, and you're like doing quests in fucking Asgard while Eivor is fucking drug tripping in reality. But is it really reality? Because you're living through an imagined reality. So basically, it's like this. We're inceptioning. We're doing Inception.
I got
Like
it.
you're Layla inside the brain of Ivor, and then Ivor goes inside the brain of fucking I don't know Odin or whoever the fuck. And then like, is there another layer deeper than that? Who knows, man?
If you die in
Yeah.
Asgard, you die in
knows?
real life.
I have a
Don't do enough
question
mushrooms, you'll never find out.
about Assassin's Creed
Yes.
Valhalla. Maybe you can answer this for me because Vinny hasn't played it. I haven't played it. It's
Yes.
been sitting on my my hard drive, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, I feel like maybe this happens a lot specifically with Assassin's Creed games, but I just feel like I hear incredible praise from a not minority group of people, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel like many people, maybe I'm just too much into like the Twitter sort of zone with it, but
We all
people
are.
really like, yeah, people really just kind of lost it with this one. And then I hear an equal amount of just like very lukewarm takes on this game.
Hmm.
Oh, hang on,
And-
I've got a phone call from Spam Risk.
Oh, nice.
All right, now go on.
And obviously, everyone's wrong, right? So
Yeah.
like,
Obviously.
so yeah, I just find it peculiar that this kind of thing, sure, it happens a lot, but for whatever reason, I always associate that dichotomy with Assassin's Creed games, specifically Asgard.
What's your
Specifically.
question? What was
My
the
question
in
is
there?
just like I guess I don't really know like what to do. What it does is
Do you
it
want to
ren-
play it?
Yeah, do
here's
you
the
want to
thing.
get into it?
Let me answer. Here's the thing: it renders me disinterested.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Is like the final takeaway, because
Okay.
if I'm gonna do the big open world sort of thing, there's something I'm gonna play instead that's on
Yeah.
the horizon,
Yeah.
and I just feel like that's what happens to me every time that an Assassin's Creed games come.
Did you play Origins and Odyssey?
I played the last one I really played a lot of was Syndicate.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is not the one to jump in on.
Well, there you go.
Not because there isn't enough of a standalone story in there. There absolutely is. Like, if you don't give a shit about any of the Out of the Animus stuff and what's been going on there, like that's there. But
that's still a thing.
Oh, totally. Yes. This game, again, I have not finished it, so I do not know exactly where it is going. But the thing they are setting up here seems to be that this is the culmination of what they've been doing with that stuff in the last few games. And so Origins, was kind of like setting the table for like what a lot of the Layla stuff would be. Layla is the main human person who is in the Animus these days. Since Desmond, went woo out.
Wait, what happened to Desmond?
Wow, you're gonna have to look that. You can watch my lore
Yeah.
video.
There's a wiki I'm sure you can look up somewhere.
Oh, I just want to hear it from you guys, but okay.
Yeah. So, and then Odyssey kind of furthered that by making that whole story just 1,000 times stupider. I really liked Origins. I think Odyssey was good to a point, and then there was just too much of it. This one is a whole lot more of it. It is just a whole lot more of it. And if I were honestly, like if I were recommending one or two of those games to people, I would say they should go play Origins and or Odyssey first. Like I know this one is specifically designed for the new consoles and will look better. And, maybe people are a little bit more jazzed to get in on that. But this is ostensibly, I don't know if it's the conclusion, but it does feel like it is the culmination of what they've been doing over the past couple of 100-hour fucking games.
Right.
And coming in right now, not having really touched too much of either of those, I feel like you might not get the same.
I'm gonna delete it.
You're not going to get the same propellant out of it that I have, which is to say that I'm willing to finish Valhalla because I need to see how this shit is going. It is not because I think the game is so much fun and so good that I have to keep playing it.
I got you.
Yeah, no,
That's what I wanted to hear. Like
you once told him. Yeah, killed it.
Yeah, like come on. What
And
am I doing?
maybe my opinion will change by the time I get to the end of it. Maybe some truly crazy shit happens and that game gets wicked fun. I don't know.
Wicked
but right
fun.
now, I've been doing roughly the same shit for the last 40 hours. And some of it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have time for some of it's good right now.
Yeah.
so.
Alex Navarro, anything else you want to talk about? Game wise?
Not currently.
Okay.
Not yet. I have played a little more Drop Mix. I still think that game is really neat. They have put a little bit of DLC out for that game since
Fuser.
the launch. Fuser. Why did I say drop?
Because
it's basically
very
the same
similar.
game.
Yes.
Wasn't that, that was like a
Fuser.
board? Was that a board game?
Yeah.
That was the board game. Yeah. But yeah, I played a little more Fuser, been fucking around with that. I think there is maybe a point. I've been very slowly kind of just picking at the campaign. I think there might be a point where there are actually too many options for my stupid brain of ways you can fuck up music.
Yeah.
That I might have kind of hit my ceiling with it. Like I'm enjoying it, and I'm more than happy to keep fucking around with it. I think just the musical monsters you can make in that game are great. But like I'm not going to get good enough at it to actually just turn into like girl talk or anything. Like that's not where I'm going. Now, Vinny, you on the other hand, you and Jan both. I feel like you guys have skills.
Oh, thank you very much. But I also hit a kind of a point where I need to take a break from it because it was like, oh, I think I mixed together the stuff I wanted to mix together in the ways I wanted to mix it. And either I need some new songs or I need it to be, I need to do a shuffle, right? That's kind of how I like playing that game a little bit, is like shuffle them up. Let's go. And we'll make it work. Jeff Bacalar.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm today I'm very good.
Great.
And I'm happy to be here with you guys.
What's happening?
Nothing much.
Okay.
I'm playing the game and I'm doing that, the big one, the big daddy one, the big mommy and daddy one. Playing Cyberpunk.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
What is that?
What I'm really playing. I don't even think we could. What I'm really playing.
Yeah, good recovery. There you go.
You see me? I was about to drop all the plates. I was about to drop them all.
Just
and I was like, I have seen the start and conclusion of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Oh yeah,
like 11 times.
Oh,
it's good.
Since last week.
Yeah, you can finish that game in like 30 minutes.
The first one or the second one?
Oh yeah,
the Turtles in Time
arcade.
Or yeah, but
the
arcade game. Yeah, the original OG.
Like the original OG. It is such a short thing. I kind of.
I mean, it's an arcade game.
I know. I just feel like I feel like a couple years ago I went back to MAME and did like the X-Men one, and the X-Men one was like 4 hours maybe.
Is it really that long? I thought it was shorter than that.
I don't really remember time
okay,
so well, but this game, and believe me, I've had 11 playthroughs to now have an average. It's very short. It's like 35 minutes tops.
Oh wow, really?
Well, that sounds about right.
It's also like 35 minutes and $20. Like that game, I feel like can take it out of you pretty quickly. Which one has Baxter Stockman as the first boss? That must be Turtles in Time then.
This is where like
Baxter does show up, but I don't think he's the first boss.
He's the sewer boss.
That's
okay,
right.
Not on the bridge. Yeah. I think it must be Turtles in Time where he's on the bridge.
Yeah, Turtles in Time. Okay, maybe. Shit. Now I got to do that. But anyway,
which one has the giant Krang like that is next to the bridge?
Oh yeah, that's not this one.
Okay,
Krang's in this one. He's in the Technodrome at the end.
Okay,
and they double drill you. You're like, oh, Krang, Shredder can like clone himself in this. There's like 3 of them.
Look, man, it's a video game. Like it's like the Simpsons arcade game. Like they gave those people fucking weird powers too. It's just you got to do something,
Like shoots like a anti-mutagen electric bolt at you, and you turn into a little turtle, and it's like an insta kill.
Turtles in Time. That game's rad.
Oh yeah.
What's the bridge one? What are we thinking?
I think that's Turtles in Time. I think that's Turtles in Time.
Turtles
Somebody
in
in the chat said it's a construction site, which might be more correct than a bridge.
Okay.
I think I just remember like next to something. Yeah, Cowabunga.
That OG arcade game though, like I played a fair amount of Turtles in Time, but the amount of money the child Alex fucking pumped into that original arcade game is embarrassing.
Yes.
And not because it's a bad game. It's not. Like as those arcade beat 'em ups go, it's one of the best. But it's just, it's not like I had a lot of allowance money to be throwing around. But instead of spending it on things I might enjoy long term, it was like, well, what if I just played through TMNT again?
It's a great looking game, especially at the time. Animation was incredible. Like the variety in like, wow, who are you gonna play? I'm like a Donatello because I get the bow staff, and then I can get some of that reach and pokes guys and flips them over, and that's fun. Or you get the even though I really like Raphael, I don't know if Raphael's the one I want to put my quarter in. Like I don't feel that confident in the size to.
the animations in this one, he's kind of just like doing a little stabby, like grabbing like a hot dog off a plate.
Doesn't he do the twirl, or is that Turtles in Time as well? I don't remember.
He's just sort of doing like this a little bit.
Okay.
He's just sort of like, fidgeting with it. Yeah, but it's really fun. And like I said,
who's your favorite turtle?
In that game, I feel like I have the most fun playing with Donatello.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I refuse to believe any of those 4 turtles have any varying range whatsoever.
Probably not.
What actually happens?
The boxes are probably all the same.
Yeah, I just think like, looks like you have more range with that bow staff, but turns out it's all the same shit.
Right.
I mean, how you toss a foot soldier looks different, but like, I don't think there's any meaningful difference in the way that game feels.
No.
Like my kid plays it by himself now, and he'll just be like, I want to play as this. I'm like, yeah, he's played it so many times.
Bless his little heart that he will never have to know that game as a thing that makes you bankrupt. Like he's just there on a console. He does not have to put real money into it. He can just sit there and play it. And that is, God, just babes in the woods, man.
I know. I made like the left trigger, the coin insert thing, and he's just like, cowabunga,
cowabunga, cowabunga.
So great.
Pizza time.
So yeah, I'll figure out what I think X-Men he should probably check out. He's not like super into the superhero thing, but we'll do that next. If you have and then maybe Final Fight's probably too.
Final Fight and Streets of Rage, I would say a couple more years,
yeah,
and then jump on those. The Simpsons one, that one never came to home stuff, did it? Because the licensing for that is probably
not
fucking
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like you're.
I
feel like you're.
Simpsons. Just write down Simpsons.
Well, the Simpsons one is fun. Like it's not like all those beat 'em ups. Like they lose something when you are not feeding a shit ton of money into them. But at the same time, I think that game is pretty fun. X-Men is such a weird one. One, because it really shines when you have like 3 or 4 people, and obviously when you have 6, but 1 or 2 people, it's not as much fun. But also, it's such a specific license of X-Men. It's based on that what is it, the Pride of the X-Men pilot that they did that was supposed to be the X-Men animated series, but then they canceled that and then did the other X-Men animated series that ended up coming out,
which is very good.
Yeah, but that's the one that has like Australian Wolverine in it, which is just fucking weird.
It's still fun to play as Cyclops though, like just using your beams. Did you do the Captain America and the Avengers one?
Wait. We're conflating so many things here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about the X-Men 4 or 6 player arcade, right?
The one that the character designs. Screens?
Yeah.
The
character designs from that game were based on the character designs that were in X-Men. I think it was Pride of the X-Men, which was a pilot for an X-Men animated thing that they ended up releasing as like a standalone movie.
I always thought the X-Men likenesses in that were like kind of what I remembered from the cartoon, from like the
the cartoon we all
of that stuff made it in there, I think, but like the Wolverine design was, I think, specifically based on that other cartoon.
Cool.
And I think like because like some of those character designs were also based on like the 70s and 80s versions of those characters, like the Cyclops design and that stuff.
I loved how you could just like, when you had one of those robots down, you could just like kick them until they were, and like Nightcrawler wouldn't even kick, you would just sort of like scrape it a little bit.
The shitty little kick is the best part of that game.
Yeah, it was just like beep, beep, beep,
Bamf.
Okay, and what was the Captain America one?
And the Avengers. That's the.
I remember that one.
It's
not as good.
I can't move.
That game's good. I don't have as fond of memories of that one.
Gauntlet. Go play some Gauntlet.
We're not doing that.
We're not just going to name beat 'em ups. We can't just do that all day.
Is Gauntlet beat 'em up? I guess Gauntlet's kind of. Is it?
I mean, Golden Axe is.
Golden Axe for sure. That's like the prototype. But like, is Gauntlet a beat 'em up?
Maybe not.
This is a little bit like a hot dog, a sandwich kind of thing.
Here's the thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. If you want to call it a beat 'em up or not important to me in the slightest.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe someone in the chat just wrote one of my favorite arcade games of all time, Ivan Reitman's Super Off-Road. And I feel like that's going to have to happen with him too.
But if you're not spinning a wheel 1,732 degrees to make a 5-degree turn, then what are you
like,
doing?
It's like trying to play.
The car goes a tiny little bit. You know,
it's like trying to play APB off the cabinet. Like that is not what that game is. If you don't have a steering wheel and that is too fucking sensitive and a pedal that barely works, you are not playing APB.
Yeah, Super Sprint and Ivan Reitman are just games that are made for.
Also, not Ivan Reitman. Not Ivan Reitman. That's a different Ivan.
Sorry. That's Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters.
For Ivan Reitman.
Ivan Iron Man Stewart is a different guy.
I'll play the Ivan Reitman racing game on foot. They just
I want Ivan Stewart's fucking Ghostbusters. That would be great. I'd be into that.
Man, how's that not a joke yet? It's got to be, right?
It is now. We made it.
Yeah, so I actually looked into buying an Ivan Stewart. Looked into buying one of those, and they're so much more money than you think they would be.
What do you think? Like 600? Like what it was the? No, like 1,000.
$3,000.
What? Are you buying like a mint condition, like new old stock or something?
Here's the thing: maintenance on those things is probably a nightmare. So I bet the premiums on those things have just never gone down.
I don't think the maintenance is crazy.
You don't?
I think. No,
that wheel, think that wheel sensor is just getting abused constantly.
I mean, maybe the wheels, but like the Ninja Turtles one, an original one, is the same price too, and that's just like the PCB and the joysticks and like.
Is it just because there's fewer of them still in the wild working?
Maybe
at this
that's
point?
what it is. Maybe it's just the rareness.
They're definitely more specialized parts, with the wheels and the pedals for the Ivan Stewart. The Iron Man. Anyway, those games are super fun, man. I played those all the time. You got to spend your money. You get the tires and the nitro.
The Ivan Stewart one. The thing that pissed me off about off-road was just like you get to a point in that game where it's just like, nah, you ain't getting any further.
No,
like you're just not going to win a game anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
You've maxed out all the specs of your little go-kart.
You pump in some more quarters, buy some nitro, man. You can buy your way out of that.
The guy gets to the point where you're spending $1 of nitro boost, and you're just like, all right.
So I think I found
rethink some shit.
I think I found with this. I found the first, whatchamacallit, not loot box, but a piece of. Hey, you want a time doubler, or want to win this race? You can just buy some nitro, as many as you want.
So ahead of its time.
So ahead of that Iron Man. I did. Did any of you know who the fuck that was when you played?
Never
that
heard
game?
of him.
Nope.
Okay.
Remotely.
When I was a kid playing that in a Pizza Hut, I thought he was a created fictional character driver who was just real good at off-roading.
He might as well be.
Yeah.
But I actually still don't know. Is he real?
Is he? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Is he a marketing construction? He could be.
I assume he's was a real like off-road racer who had a tiny little steering wheel in his truck that spun a lot
with no gear shift whatsoever.
No gear shift, and just spun a tiny
just
little
hit a
wheel.
nitro boost, and
then the car went. Vroom. That was a fun game. I think that game made RC Pro-Am more fun. I don't know if RC Pro-Am. I remember RC Pro-Am being a lot of fun, but I feel like I wanted it to be those games at the time, and was like, it's the closest we're gonna get.
Yeah. I remember when they finally ported that to console and just renting off-road. I must have spent way more. How come my parents didn't realize what was going on there? Like, Jeff, we have spent $111 with you renting Double Dragon 2 and Super Off-Road.
$30
How about
game.
we just fucking buy the damn game for you?
You don't, gotta keep the economy going.
We were just kids back then,
I think you've got some good choices. I think The Simpsons. I think the Turtles in Time was definitely go in on that. And man, there's a whole range of beat 'em ups. There's that original Ninja Gaiden was pretty fun. You could spin around on the pole, but that's if you're trying to stay away from the more blood spewing out of people.
He's a Turtles kid now.
Yeah,
I mean, he's already got the face masks and everything. It's just like
real
what's
face
his favorite
masks?
turtle?
Yeah, he's got to wear a face mask to school, so he's just got like a Donatello one.
Okay.
One that just says Turtle Power.
Is Donatello his favorite?
I don't think he really has one right now.
All right.
I think he's just sort of trying them all out still. He loves the van, and I'm just like, dude, the van, it's not as big of a part of the lore as
the toy would make it be.
No.
It's
a cool van, though.
A cool ass van. It's what it is. It's in the pinball machine.
Yeah,
where it holds 4 balls and it just spits them out. But I actually have the van in my parents' place, so
I think
gotta
that
go
show,
bring up a bunch of
that
stuff
show
now.
really did a disservice to a whole generation of leading kids to believe that reporters were issued cool vans on a much wider scale than maybe they actually were.
That cartoon, though, I mean, I don't want to declare whether or not it holds up. I think there's a lot of cool shit in that cartoon still.
Yeah, good characters.
Yeah, and just like, I mean, the jokes are whatever, and they
They're for
kind
kids.
of like, they also kind of treat April like dog shit in the beginning, where they're just like, yeah, we're turtles, lady, get your shit together. Like, where she's like, she can't believe it. She falls down the sewer grate. They save her, and they're just like, oh, we're turtles. What don't you get? What don't you get?
Is she? Well, they are teenagers, so they are kind of assholes. Is
They
she?
are.
Is she?
And Splinter's like, guys.
Is she a good reporter? I can't remember. Or is she like a up and coming reporter who's always trying to get a scoop? Or is she like April O'Neil, like your world renowned reporter?
I think she's just like a regional, like New York City reporter, like a local news reporter. She's not really like, she doesn't have like Pulitzer ambitions.
No.
I don't.
Okay,
think.
and she's never just like, I gotta get the scoop.
No, well, she's trying to figure out like who the ninjas stealing all the expensive equipment are.
Always, constantly.
And yeah, she's like, I'm gonna own this ninja robbery beat. And
this
it's good work if you can get it.
Not if you're trying to be stealthy wearing a yellow jumpsuit everywhere you go.
The best is like, these awesome looking like 90s gang members like come up to her, and like her entire male like crew just ditches her in a second. They're just like, you're on your own, April. Like, and she's like, what the fuck? How could you do this to me? And then
she has ninja friends.
Yeah, she has mutant Ninja Turtle friends. In the Turtleverse, I haven't watched a cartoon in a long time. Is there a switchover point where the world knows about like the turtles go out in public and it's okay, or are they always kind of underground figures?
That's a really good point. I mean, in the movies, they're just a secret, right? Like,
although
when Vanilla Ice sees them, it's like we all knew, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in the cartoon, they're sort of just like, nah, you didn't see that.
There's a lot of trench coat.
Trench coat.
Right, trench coat. Right. Yeah.
It's clear.
I've got back problems.
Yeah.
I remember it being very much a Splinter wants them to be subtle, but they are not into being subtle. So it just kind of, it's a badly kept secret.
Okay.
They're sneaky enough. I mean, that's the whole like teachings of Splinter's, lessons, right? Like, ninja vanish and whatnot.
But like Bebop and Rocksteady are just running around tearing it up, right? Everybody knows there's mutants, right?
There's definitely a mutant warthog just running around with a gun.
Right.
Like it's pretty obvious.
And there's all kinds of wacky shit, like the pizza monsters, like things happen all the time. And it's never like the Men in Black thing where like, you didn't see this.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so people know about it. They don't really talk about that too much, but I'm letting him blow through the entire series. I think he's at like season 3 already.
My kids are still watching. They once in a while they fucking put on that Mario Super Show.
Oh, that's a trip.
And I'm always like,
trip.
It is a trip.
I'm always like, am I a bad parent for letting you watch this? I'm not sure. Is there something else we could watch maybe that is not
But did you get the same feeling that I got when I turned on that pilot episode of Ninja Turtles? It's called like Turtle Tracks or something like that. I was just like instantly teleported in a way where I was like, I was just mouthing along with every line. I'm like, how do I know this?
It's
like,
all coming back out.
It's been loaded into the Matrix or something. It was a wild thing. And I feel like the same stuff would happen with that Mario show.
Yeah, I had that experience recently, but not with Turtles, but with the real Ghostbusters cartoon. Specifically, some of the like first season episodes of that show are just like so fucking burned into my brain that like I could just recite beat for beat what was happening. And it is my one great regret that I never got to see the New York of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and real Ghostbusters cartoons. It passed me by. That New York is long gone, and I'm sad. Thanks, Giuliani.
You just need a lot more.
It's probably for the better.
Yeah.
I need to go and find that weirdo, the gorilla Ghostbusters thing. We've talked
the
about
other
before.
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I need to go back and just like, absorb some of that one more time and just sort of see that. I have a vision of it in my mind with like the logo being white and like it being, they enter some like upside down world, but I need to just take that in one more time and put that to bed, I think.
I remember being really angry at the existence of that show.
Yeah.
Not even that because it was awful. I mean, it wasn't good, but like I remember the second it came on one day, and I was like, "Wait, Ghostbusters? What are we? What?
It's,
What?"
I was like,
And
how's no one getting sued? I don't understand.
Yeah, I legitimately, I think I might have asked my mom, I was like, how did they do this?
Yeah.
How are they allowed to do this? And she didn't have any fucking
like, can
answers
I
because she
just
doesn't
make
know
a
anything
ghost-
Well,
about
that's
this.
a gorilla. Clearly, that's not
Yeah.
a human. That's a
Yeah.
gorilla, and it's they're ghost musters.
My brand loyalty was strong at the time.
All
Totally.
right, we're gonna take a break.
Actually,
Another cartoon.
no, but talking about all this arcade stuff reminded me there was something else I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
I actually watched a thing this week that might be of interest to you and those at home. A little documentary came out recently called Insert Coin, which I should just really quickly preface. I helped kickstart it.
okay,
And also Jeff Gerstmann of Giant Bomb fame appears in it.
okay.
So, keep that in mind. But it is by Josh Sway, who is I don't know the current state of Robomodo, but he was the head of Robomodo, and he used to work at Midway back in the 90s. He's part of that Chicago game dev scene. It is a documentary that is very specifically about the coin-op era of Midway, and the history of all of that. And so it's out, I think, on Alamo Drafthouse has like a digital screening thing where you can watch it. And I finally sat down to watch it. And are you interested in Midway? Are you interested in the history of Midway?
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I would like this.
It's
Yes.
Is it scandalous?
Not as
No.
scandalous as maybe you would like.
I would think this is like Chicago mafia and smuggling things in pinball machines and arcade cabinets.
Nowhere near that cool.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking for there, Vinny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the other one.
Yeah, the money laundering schemes never really came up here.
Okay.
This is more just about like kind of how, first thing I should say right now, and this won't matter as much to people listening to this show because I know you know this stuff, but there is a lot of assumed knowledge in this documentary. Like it does not hold your hand in any specific way. It assumes that you know about old consoles, about arcades, about, sort of the notion of like what those businesses were, and just kind of dives headlong into it. And I think for that audience, it's fine. Like that's not a big deal. But if you're someone coming into it that maybe doesn't know a whole lot about the coin-op business or Midway or any of that stuff, it does not explain that stuff to you particularly well out of the gate.
Is Ed Boone in it?
So I'll get to that in a second. But so they mostly, I feel like, get a lot of the personalities you wanted to hear from. Like Eugene Jarvis is in there, Mark Trammell, John Tobias, a lot of the people that were there working on those games back in the day. Ed Boone is not in it. There is footage of Ed Boone. They talk about Ed Boone a lot, but he is not interviewed anywhere in it. And I'm wondering if that's because of Warner Brothers or because Ed just didn't want to do it. I don't know, but he's not spoken to in the documentary.
Wasn't he in first off, it's worth mentioning, like there are so many of these things right now. Like
video game documentaries,
they're just overflowing. Like I don't know what happened 18 months ago, but like they're all coming out now. I want to say he was, or maybe he wasn't in it. Who's the other?
John Tobias is the other Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah, so maybe he's the dude in the thing that I watched that was on. I don't even know if it was Netflix or All Access or whatever it was, but yeah, it's crazy.
But so yeah, the flow of this thing is very much a lot of old video game guys shooting the shit.
Right.
Like it is them just kind of telling stories about, coming up with the concept for Narc and how that was kind of their big, splashy entry into the arcade market in a way that kind of made them stand out. Talking about making the Terminator 2 game and, obviously the development of Mortal Kombat and the development of the movie alongside Mortal Kombat. They get Paul W.S. Anderson and the producer of that movie to talk on film for a bit as well. And they kind of get into like Revolution X and sort of like the downslope of the coin-op business in general. So there's like some good stories in there. If you want to hear about like how the fuck Revolution X happened, and like that stuff's in there. I have two complaints about it, and this is maybe just for my personal taste and my personal interest in this stuff.
Hey, wait, hold on. Are you watching a trailer for it, Backler?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard music playing.
No, you're hearing the sound of a buzzsaw above me that is probably shooting out sparks above, like a floor or two above me right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
you could mix that up with a trailer. Sure.
It could. I saw you nodding your head. Like, all right, yeah, I like this. The sound.
So two things. Two things. One, none of the people who are interviewed for this are particularly reflective about anything pertaining to these games or the work they did or anything beyond, hey, that was a cool story. Hey, that was a wild time. And that's like, I get that. This has the flow of just a bunch of guys talking and shooting the shit. But like, when they're talking about Narc and they're talking about developing a game about the war on drugs and how, they're shooting drug dealers and fucking blowing up pushers and all this shit, there's not really any thought at all about what that actually means in the context of games or the, sort of the history of violence in video games. It's more just like, we were pushing the envelope, man. We were doing crazy shit. Not, maybe making a game based on a violent game based on the war on drugs was maybe not the best thing. I don't know. I love Narc. It's a shitty, morally reprehensible game, but I kind of love it.
Winners don't do drugs, man. And
William S. Sessions has never lied to me.
And I feel like that's just like Narc is basically RoboCop, like with biker helmets.
Like, I don't know. Even as a child, being exposed to that game, I was just like, oh, this is bullshit. Like you know what I mean? Like it wasn't fooling anyone.
No.
Even for people who was probably supposed to like possibly send a message to, it just slid right off you. We're just like, oh fuck this. This is just like drug lord murder game. Like, fine.
Yeah. And like, you're also just shooting a lot of addicts in that game. Too,
yeah.
Also,
which,
you're not wearing
that
sleeves.
I don't remember. That part I don't remember.
And money just flies out all over the place. I think you actually pick up the drugs. Today would be looked at, you'd see it and be like, is this a parody game? Like, is this
I need to add that to the list maybe.
When they get into like the violent stuff, when they talk about like Mortal Kombat, fucking Joe Lieberman and all that shit, like the tone, and in general, I am very much in agreement with the assessment that like this was equivalent to like a satanic panic or people hating on comic books, that kind of stuff. It's like, yes, they were pushing the envelope in some very specific ways. They were putting violent games in arcades that were mostly frequented by children. Get it. But at the same time, they were also like, they were a scapegoat in the way that all stuff like that turns into.
Yeah, the whole D. Snyder thing, right? Like,
but again, the way they talk about this stuff is very much just like, we were pushing the envelope, we were doing crazy shit. There's a little bit of airing of grievances in there too. Like they very specifically call out this Entertainment Weekly interview, I guess they did around Terminator 2, where someone tried to gotcha them by saying you shoot cops in that game, which they're like, that was offensive to me because we do the thing in the movie where Arnold only shoots the cops in the knees, and we made sure that when we animated it, that was all. I have family in law enforcement. I would never. Funny. And it's just like a weird moment of like, okay, you've been holding on to this for a long fucking time, and now you are airing these grievances. The other thing is there is almost nothing in there about Midway as a console gaming business. They talk about like Acclaim taking over some of the Mortal Kombat home versions, and the blood on no blood on Super Nintendo versus blood on Genesis, that kind of stuff. But like once they kind of get out of the coin op market, and granted, it's called insert coin. I get it. This is the area you're talking about. But there's still so much wild shit about Midway that happened in that range between the late 90s and the late aughts when Midway eventually went bankrupt, that I was kind of hoping there would at least be something in there. But it really is just like a title card that's like, Midway eventually shut its doors, et cetera, et cetera. Like that. None of like, the fucking Lang and Johnny era of Midway. None of the Redstone shit is in there at all. So that was like a little disappointing to me.
Did they talk about the grid?
Yes, they do talk about the grid. They show the grid. They talk about the grid as Ed Boone's vacation from Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Did they say if it was a huge blunder or a success? They
describe it as a very unsuccessful cool thing. Like they thought it was a neat thing. They talk about how it would totally be like an esport if it came out today. But also they could not get anyone to buy 4 to 6 of those cabinets at a time.
I mean, they were linked up. I mean, I feel like it was probably like a look at what was happening in Japan and being like, we could do this here, and nah. It probably also timed to about the decline of arcades. I think that game was like late 90s or something, or like early.
Yeah, it was like mid to late 90s, I think.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to watch this, but the problem is like, I don't know what to do. Like, I mean, like this doesn't, how did you watch it?
They sent me a screener, but it's on Alamo's, it's on Alamo Draft House's streaming thing. I don't know the details of it. I just know that the Alamo is streaming it out. So I think you can rent it from them.
So what's wild about I'm looking at the site right now. What's wild about they call it, so it says it's available on Alamo On Demand and virtual cinemas, which is not a thing.
So what it is I think it's like a bunch of people sitting in a screening watching together.
Okay, you're right, but it's just the sort of inherent like strangeness of that phrase is oh, you mean my living room?
Yeah.
Can I order it from Alamo and then also have them just deliver me the food that I would have
and the
booze to get the real experience? Yeah. That place is pretty awesome.
It's the only kind of movie theater I hope survives all this.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, should we take a break and then move into news?
Yes.
All right.
Is there one more thing? Wasn't there? No,
I don't think so.
All right. Never mind.
If you think of it, we have two more sections. Yeah, don't worry. We'll come right back. All right. Hold on, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a little bit. And we are back. Hello, everybody. We are back. We're going to get to the news here on this here Giant Beastcast. I'll tell you the news. I'll tell you the news.
Tell me the news.
Oh, man. Spent a lot of time trying to get this Amazon Workspace thing set up. So see if we can put vMix in a cloud environment on this Amazon Workspace that Will Carl had set up previously that runs Windows Server 2016. And, I just can't get the incoming connections from people trying to send video to it. I don't think I can open up router ports. So then I was like, man, maybe I'll set up like an EC2 thing where I can manage
What's this guy talking about?
And then maybe we could just do that. Because it's, like now expensing stuff. Remember we had that CapEx spend, Alex, that kind of vanished at the end of this year from CBS Interactive. And I was like, I'm going to build a server so I can put vMix on it at home. That way you guys can send me the video feeds and then we can kind of try and do that stuff. But I think I just might dual boot this computer and try and put vMix on it in a single environment and do that. That's the news, folks.
All right.
Well, you put me to fucking sleep. I'll see you later, guys.
It's we're getting closer to like the full transition over to Red Ventures, and it's starting to.
It's never gonna happen.
It feels like a new thing crops into my inbox every day. It's like, oh, you actually have to sign this within 24 hours, or you're fired. And it's like, okay, all right, I'll sign it. Here you go, sign it.
It definitely is a lot of hurry up and wait. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the actual news. The news folks want to hear, like those PS5s and Xbox Series X's that have been so hard to come by, and sounds like will be going into 2021 for a couple of months there. But Sony's saying we are so excited people are buying our product. Wow, thanks everybody. But
it turns out making money's great, huh?
But also, hey, we're gonna get more stock in. Microsoft kind of saying the same thing. Microsoft being a little bit more explicit with being like April for the Series X and Series S.
I have a little bit of something to add to this conversation, if you would indulge me for just a quick moment. I've mentioned this before. I have a friend whose younger brother is one of these scalpers.
Uh-oh. Call him out.
And I think I want to like interview him anonymously.
Oh boy. Well, I bought 5 consoles.
Well, you see, the Walmart that really works well.
No, like I want to. Right. My question to you is: would you want to listen to an interview?
No, I would be frustrated, but I am not that. People
you wouldn't want to?
No, but I don't like watching the shows where people get hurt either. So maybe people would. Maybe this is the same thing.
Okay, first of all,
he's not going around like kneecapping people.
No. Well,
he's not breaking people's knees. He's fucking them over. He's fucking them over, and
he's fucking them over within the letter of the law.
Right. Exactly. He's right.
The law has some problems. We know that. I'm just saying.
In the broken law, he is finding a means to exist.
No one is going to arrest him for this, but some people might throw tomatoes at him if they knew.
Well, here's the right, exactly, which is why anonymity is a key factor here. I
Yes.
am trying to do a bit of an interest check and see whether or not, because I personally would like to hear from one of these. Well, let's just call them scumbags,
Mhm.
right?
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I just called my
Those two
my good
words are
friend a
basically
scumbag.
the synonymous.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm just saying, like, I guess maybe I gotta like,
Here's the thing. It's not that I don't think there is an interesting angle to be had with this. It's that legitimately, just me personally, there's nothing I want to hear from those people. Like, I
Yes.
know what your motives are. I know why you're doing this. I don't care.
Dude, that is not the type of question that I'm going to be asking this person. I'm just going to be like, how you doing this? And sort of just like, because
You want to unmask the operation.
Well, and I do think there is an interesting element to like the seediness and like the sort of the crew. Like there is a bit of like, these people sort of congregate in the darkness in certain like Discord servers, and they do these buys for these bots, and like it is a whole kind of interesting maybe episode of Reply All in there a little bit. But I don't know, I'm a bit fascinated with that, because I do know it has not been as easy as it normally is for like the bots, and I think they're still able to do damage, and I'm just curious to sort of like peel that back a little bit. I don't know. I really like Reply All. That's why I use that example. And I do think like, this is the one sort of key into that world that like would be interesting to talk about. It's just a thought. I don't have to do it.
I think for me, I think I really lost my taste for it. And I'm not trying to say these are comparable examples. One is a lot more serious than the other. When like all the reporting started happening and like, let's talk to the people who are buying hand sanitizer, and then reselling it to all the stores. And there was like a lot of reporting on that. And it was like,
yeah, but that was just some dickhead in a pickup truck. This is like a much more sophisticated operation.
I think
those are also products people actually need, as opposed to
that's what
luxury items.
That's what I prefaced it saying. It's not exactly, but the conversations that stem from those, I feel like, are the same. Like, well, if the market allows it, then then this is and I'm just tired of that whole conversation.
Yeah, the market's a fucking asshole. We know. We don't we don't need to hear from the people who adhere to the market.
I feel like I would do it over Zoom, and I'd make a video of it. And I don't know. It's just the thing I've been thinking about, noodling a little bit.
Sure. Hey, listen. Stories.
I mean, if it lets you play with some filters in Premiere, some audio down tunes and some fucking some cool black blocks, or like fuzzy effects on people's faces, like that's probably cool. That's fun.
Well,
you could do that.
It's not very concerning to know I got a hard pass for my co-hosts, but
my like, hey, listen, I've said this before. My feeling is usually on the retailers and limiting them to 1 to 2 units per and it's the same thing across a lot of other hobbies I have, which is like, stuff is getting real tough to find. Please limit your stock to 1 or 2 units per person to make sure that everybody who wants one can get one, because secondary markets in a lot of these hobbies, and this is one of the hobbies I like, those are the that just then caters to people who have more time and more money, and not to the people who generally are just want to pay retail.
Well, that's the takeaway of my video, Vinny. Fuck.
Well, you wanted our opinion, right?
Yeah.
You didn't want us to just say, "Oh, actually, that's a good idea," with no thought into it. You want to hear what we actually think, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
That's what I think.
Thank you.
So there you go. Well, so April. There you go. Yeah,
April.
That's when you'll buy a PS5.
Okay.
yeah. Well, that was Microsoft saying that Sony didn't give, I think, specific time frame. Microsoft hinted that April could be happening. That was a little earlier this month, but Sony's saying new stock is on the way for early next year. So
I will say that I briefly stopped into Best Buy yesterday to pick up some cables that I needed to replace. And while I was there at the in-store pickup, I saw my first someone buying a new console in the wild.
Okay.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
and they walked out with one?
Yeah, it was a Series X. I saw them walk out with it.
Wow.
I think they're only doing like buy online, pick up in store, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not saying that like they had a bunch of them in stock. I'm saying that it was the first time I'd seen someone say, "My box, please," and have someone hand them to them. So
I just want to reiterate, again, Microsoft hinting that April would be the big kind of inventory refresh,
the big dump,
and Sony saying we'll have stuff at the end of the year. We should have some more stuff at the end of the year, and we'll see what happens there.
Some of my friends are starting to get them.
Yeah,
I don't
starting
know
to show.
if that-
I mean,
yeah.
I think, as more people get them, you have fewer people hitting target.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I believe this is how it works.
Oh, okay.
And so hopefully that's
Something about supply and demand.
yeah.
And demand?
yeah. I don't know. You should ask your ask your black market friends.
Yeah.
As long as you're not, whatever, I'm not a fan of it, but as long as you're not selling like boxes full of sawdust, and then skipping town, this true this is what the PS5 looks like. It's basically a PS4.
I don't even know where he's doing the bulk of his selling, but yeah,
on the dark web.
On the dark web. Okay. Bald.
Yeah.
This was we knew this was coming. But it still wasn't ready for it. But because they said this explicitly, but Baldur's Gate 3, a game that is in pretty early access, extreme early access out there. There will be a patch coming out soon, which will make your save not work. So heads up for that. They have said that moving forward that saves might be, that is the early access. It's kind of why I stopped playing because I had a lot of fun playing it because it meant I could do whatever I wanted, but I kind of knew my save was going to get wiped out. But there's a patch coming, but they are actually going to fork the code for people who on Steam, I should mention, for Steam users, where you can opt into the a branch that stays on patch 2, which is the current one. So if you want to keep your save and keep playing on there, you should be able to, where it has that like opt into beta thing, you should be able to pick that branch and stay on there. They said it was going to come. Just a heads up that this is, it's going to happen.
The thing they said would happen happened.
It's gonna happen. Just beware if you're getting that new patch coming out. This one, file under the okay, whatever. First of all, how many people know who Uri Geller is? I know Alex, you do. No, bends the spoon with the late night bends the spoon with magic.
Oh yeah. I vaguely know who that is.
Is he like a mind freak guy?
Yeah, but a long time ago, kind of like to sue a lot of people, and sued Nintendo over the Pokemon. Is it Abra or Kadabra? I can never remember which one because they had a spoon. The picture of him had a spoon. That's his gimmick, right? Also, I think the name for the Pokemon in Japan is very close to Geller's name, but not in the States. This all happened like 20 years ago, and Nintendo has basically stopped printing those cards because the suit got thrown out in California, but then there were other suits, and Uri Geller has posted. I'm on Twitter. I'm truly sorry for what I did 20 years ago. Kids and grown-ups, I'm releasing the ban. It's now all up to Nintendo to bring Kadabra, the Pokemon card, back. It'll probably be one of the rarest Pokemon cards now. Much energy and love to all. There you go.
Man, what the fuck?
I don't know.
Yeah, what the fuck is right?
I don't know. I don't know. But it sounded to me
Doug Henning would never have done this.
Give up the fight?
No, he never would have done it in the first place because Doug Henning is too busy doing fucking transcendental meditation to give a fuck about Pokemon.
It sounded a little to me like, I don't know, I need a thing. I need to get back out there. This sounds like a thing that'll get me back. I can make more news by not doing that, by calling this off than by doing this.
Mentalism is not the thriving industry it once was.
No, apparently not. Well, hopefully Kadabra can get back in the game. Alex. Wait, actually, one more little thing here. Kind of more related to the Baldur's Gate thing. Super Mario Maker on the Wii U. Remember that one?
Yeah, of course.
Not to be confused with the 3DS version.
The OG.
Not to be confused with new Super Mario or Super Mario Maker 2. Uploading for levels on Super Mario Maker on the Wii U is going to come to a close. They will no longer be available. The game will no longer be available on the eShop as of January 12th, 2021. So, does not affect the 3DS version because that didn't have user upload levels, and does not affect Super Mario Maker 2. Sure, some people are still playing it, right?
Someone's got a Wii U plugged in somewhere.
Yeah, sure. I've been. Oh man, I'm fucking up. I got to get it out of like the basement or something. I just want to look at it again.
The Wii U or that game or
No, the Wii. I just want to like. I just want to hold that tablet again and just be like, whoa.
We have
over here.
We have the Wii U hooked up. It feels chunkier when you haven't seen it in a while. When you get back on it. Yeah, it's got a thickness to it. I should mention per that story, the uploads will end March 31st.
All right.
Curious if the dustiness here is coming across.
Oh yeah.
Well, they all have dust on them now.
Oh yeah.
That's how that works.
That's a layer, my friend.
That's some
That's a beefy little chunkster there.
Run your finger across the front of that. Let's see how thick that gets.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's
that's the stuff.
All right, for the
little racing stripe for you.
For those listening, boy, there's a path on that thing now.
Fuck if that screen doesn't look microscopic.
Yeah. For the weight, for the heft and weight of that thing, it's a tiny little screen. Aw, sad little.
It's all just battery, I guess.
Yes. It doesn't weigh that much, but it is chunky.
No, it doesn't.
It's chunky.
I mean, it has that play school feel to it.
All right, let's get into some other news. Alex, you have some other news for us?
Yeah, a few things.
Yeah.
I don't always highlight the Xbox Game Pass announcements, but there were a bunch of games coming to Game Pass in December, including Remedy's Control.
Dude, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that was rumored for a while, and I guess they finally confirmed it. Doom Eternal is coming to Game Pass as well. And then there's a bunch of other stuff, smaller games like Yes Your Grace, Slime
Fun
Rancher,
awesome game.
Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. It's something like 15 or 17 games or something are coming this month, so it's a bunch.
There's a lot of stuff leaving.
I don't know about leaving. I'm sure some stuff will probably peel off, but I don't know exactly which ones.
Yeah, I'm always surprised. Like I have, for whatever reason, I have the alerts on my phone. And it always says like, you better play this before it goes away. And I always look at the ones that are going away and it's like, I could live without that, this and that, like, they don't, so I guess I was worried more about like, what was, that revolving door of stuff and being like, oh, this one's going to go and I'm going to be pissed. I haven't really like felt that to be, again, from a personal perspective, haven't felt that to be like kind of a deal breaker just yet. But man, I was talking with somebody the other day, like, it's just the value prop there is just so goddamn good. It's just like
it continues to get better.
Yeah, and it's just getting better for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, though, and it's probably because I think a lot of us have pretty decent PCs. I haven't turned the Series X on as much. I mean, I did for Ori, but it's been a lot of PS5.
It's where I'm playing Yakuza and AC. Otherwise,
on Series X. Okay.
Yeah, but I also probably wouldn't be using it for much other than Rock Band right now if it wasn't for those games. So,
well, I mean that's fair. Those games. Those are new games.
Yeah,
I was playing that Bright Memory game on Series X.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, I love how fucking strange that game is, and that's about it.
The Madden update just came out for PS5 and Series X, and apparently the PS5 one is a little busted at the moment. It might be fixed by the time you listen to this, depending on when you listen to this. But
join the fucking party on that.
The online does not work in the PS5 version currently, so they need to patch that at some point. They straight up EA came out and said, "Hey, by the way, this thing is broken. We're gonna fix it. Don't worry."
That EA Play thing that's now baked into Game Pass. How does that work for new games? Like, do new games get there with like a delay? Is it just discounted? How does that work? Like, for example, Madden and your FIFAs of the world. Like,
I don't know what the delay is on new stuff. I know that like some people who have EA Play, when those games come out, they get access to them a little bit earlier than like the official release date, but I think there is a delay as far as like whether that stuff is just on Game. Like I don't think Madden 21 is just on Game Pass.
Right? That's not the case. People in the chat saying there's a delay, usually around a year.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I do remember being able to like play like an early trial or something like that, and then I think then they give you a discount with that as well. But
they didn't they? I'll just stop. I was
just stop.
There were I feel like there were versions of EA Access, the EA Premier Club. Like they had a couple of different things over the years that got you into certain tiers of early access and stuff. But there were things specifically for like Madden and sports games that I can't remember. What's going on with Fortnite?
I'm going to say right now at the top, I'm going to be a poor substitute for the weekly Abby Fortnite report. So don't expect this on the regular. But that said, there are some things going on in Fortnite. There was a big season event. Galactus was there. I don't fucking know because I don't really play Fortnite. But it sounds like they've reset a bunch of stuff. And it sounds like Kratos is coming to Fortnite as a skin. So if you want to give Kratos a gun, I guess you can do that. And there's also a rumor going around that maybe Master Chief might show up at some point. That's like some data mining stuff. So who knows? But
why not?
Why not?
Why
just
not?
make it Smash Brothers. Just
Why
make it
not?
fucking Smash Brothers with guns. Just do it.
What is it? Smash Brothers, or are we in like Ready Player One world at this point? Can you just like, is it just the
what's less embarrassing?
Yeah, and explain that question. What the fuck does that mean?
Does it mean like is Fortnite just becoming the game? The just like
like the Oasis? Is it just like
just more or less
license anything, throw it in there? You want to be a DeLorean with a gun? Yeah, just be you know whatever.
Fortnite is the logical conclusion of a society that gave you both Second Life and PlayStation Home.
Okay.
It is the natural conclusion that people understand that you want to live in virtual spaces, but also you want to be inundated with brands. Also, and that they learned the lesson that Second Life and PlayStation Home did not learn, which was that people also want a fucking gun. So what it is they have given you the virtual world where you can hang out, the teen cool zone where you can hang out with your friends, do your thing, chat, hang out. They have given you the brands.
Right.
That's self-explanatory. Don't got to say anything else about that.
Yeah.
The brands.
And they have given you a gun.
Okay.
That's it. That's the trifecta.
I do also think like to me it's kind of in a way obvious where it's like if Fortnite could ask for one thing, it would be a pandemic. And I just think like, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tim Sweeney was praying to whatever it is he prays to make sure this happened.
But like, is it not the perfect breeding ground for what this thing is? Is it not the perfect like I hate to just be like, we're all just going to go off world and like, fester in this like digital, hellscape. But like, that's it was already popular before this was going down. Like, what'd you think?
I mean, that's the thing is it's harder
to empty out.
It's harder to discern because it was already so overwhelmingly popular before we all got locked inside.
That's why I prefaced with that. But
like I agree. I think that is definitely the kind of virtual space where people who are otherwise unable to see their friends and family might hang out so they can shoot some guns together.
Sure.
So this
with Iron Man
or Kratos or whatever. I feel like we all went through something similar. Like when World of Warcraft came out, it took over the bubble, the kind of the bubble we were all in. And this feels like that, but it now just bleeds outside to the normal people, the people who weren't just playing games. Yeah, the people who weren't like, I sit in front of my computer and now I'm playing World of Warcraft, and everybody's playing World of Warcraft. All my gaming friends are playing World of Warcraft, and this has bled out to just such a different scale. But there will be something after Fortnite. There was a while there where it felt like World of Warcraft will be around forever. Everybody tried to make an online MMO to cash in on that, and then they never figured out how to get Iron Man. So I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Does Epic have
only got an Iron Forge, no Iron Man?
Epic have anything else like going on?
Need anything else?
I don't know.
They have Unreal Engine
lawsuits against Apple. I don't know. Like, is there anything else happening with them? Is there another game?
Ill-considered comparisons to the civil rights movement? No, I don't think. I think that's pretty much what they got right now.
Oh shit!
So their plate's full.
Very much so. I'm saying that Tim Sweeney is probably keeping a lot of people over there busy right now. Yes.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, Alex. Any more news?
One more little quick hit here. So Sea of Thieves, that's a game you play, Vinny.
Yeah.
I play maybe as much.
Yeah. We played that. I've done quite a bit of seafaring. What's up with Sea of Thieves?
So when you are seafaring in 2021, there's you will potentially be doing so. Well, you will be doing so with they're adding seasons to that game, the way that a lot of other online games have their seasonal content, and there will be a battle pass coming for that game.
Gotcha. Is that what we call those now? Just battle pass, not season pass, or is that just it's the same thing?
The nomenclature doesn't really matter.
Just the pass.
It's a pass for battling, so it's as good a term as any. Right. I think
you rank up. You rank up in your pass, and you do.
I don't know who owns the trademark on that terminology, but I don't think it matters. It's like Kleenex; it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, so they will be continuing to update that game next year, and it will just have a slightly different update structure. It seems like.
I'll be curious to see what's in the pass. Like sometimes those things. Like achievements were helpful in giving you something to do in something like, hey, I'm trying to, get this thing or do this thing. And speaking of past stuff, Backlot, we played some the Call of Duty, the Black Ops.
The new one.
Yeah, we certainly did.
Yeah, that's a muddy water if you're jumping around. Oh, I'm going to talk for a second about where the state of Call of Duty in terms
I want to hear it.
Of what you need. They have split the game up into be like, well, what do you want? You want zombies? You want multiplayer? You want Warzone? You want the campaign? That stuff between Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, the last one, and Black Ops gets weird and not fun to navigate if you're just kind of bringing somebody in to be like, just download the multiplayer. Don't worry about this. I know you got a slow connection. We're going to play on Thanksgiving. We're going to do this stuff. And it's like, okay, I download the multiplayer. Let's go. It took me overnight. And then you jump in and it's like, whoa. I need data pack 2. And I was like, you need what? And that stuff is not labeled well.
Yeah. I mean, I got a little bit of news. All that's still a giant fucking mess.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird.
It sucks because, we were playing and what did you do? We were like, oh, we're going to play Cold War. You're like, I don't have Cold War.
I was like, I don't have Cold War. And then I bought it through the Call of Duty store because I was in Modern Warfare. And of course, now there are just 3 panels in Modern Warfare. One is Warzone, one is Modern Warfare campaign and multiplayer. And then there's just a panel there that's like Cold War. And it's like this game I don't own. That's just like, all right, yeah, sure. I clicked on that. I was like, I'll buy Cold War. Of course, it buys the PS4 version because Modern Warfare is a PS4 game. And then I had to go back into this. And I started downloading it. And I was like, whoa. This one says PS4. And then I was like, I got to go into the Sony store, buy the $10 upgrade, then stop this download, then buy the other one. Wackadoo, man. It's
currently, I would classify it as currently very stupid. Just because like the fact that you were just like, hey, I'm going to buy this game. I'm using a PS5.
Yeah.
And you were still able to buy the PS4 version of this game.
It was very weird.
You would think it would know. It would understand implicitly that the first thing you want is the one for this console. Secondary would be the other version.
Like, I just don't understand it. Like, you pull up to the gas station, you give the attendant, you start filling, and they fill up the other guy's gas. You're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I didn't want that. I don't understand.
And then also, it was this was the first time we were doing this sort of thing, but like, is Warzone, or is Warzone separate to the each product?
The way I understand is Warzone is Warzone.
Okay.
So like, Warzone bridges between.
It's a separate thing, independent of Black Ops and
because you can download it as like a free to play thing. Right. So that's sort of, I think of it as like the bridge between Black Ops, Cold War, and Modern Warfare.
Because when so I downloaded Warzone for Black Ops, but then we had a weird moment there where it was like, okay, I downloaded this thing, I'm accepting your invite, and then it closed. I was like, I'm good. I got Black Ops downloaded. Let's play. I'm going to accept your group invite. And then it punched me out of Black Ops back into Modern Warfare to load that up in a Warzone party that was like the wrong one. And it just, I don't know, it was very funky. The way they label, in Modern Warfare, the way they label the what you need to download to play the certain things is not great.
Yeah,
it's maybe a little bit better in Black Ops. Anyway, the game was fun. We played some multiplayer.
That's the important part.
Yeah, it was fun. I think I killed it. I was a little embarrassed dragging Bacalar along for a while.
Is that how it went?
That's what I remember. We didn't talk about it.
I mean, I know we
much.
really were not even paying attention to like what the hell we were even doing, but
No, you did very well.
I'm pretty sure it was me at the top.
No, you did well. I think I find there's something about the pace of it that feels a little less frantic right now. Maybe it's the maybe it's what maybe I'm so used to playing Warzone, which is a lot more tense instead of the die and respawn.
Yeah. Are you talking about like how those modes feel, or are you talking about the actual like core of that game?
Well, I don't know. That's hard to tease out for me. Like just in playing the multiplayer, it felt like I was able to. I wasn't getting one shot killed as soon as I walk out of a thing. I felt like I was able to engage for a little longer and have a little bit more of a firefight.
Yeah, that could just be dumb luck.
Totally. It could just be the way it moved.
I still think that game chugs a little bit in ways that Modern Warfare just still does not. I think Modern Warfare just still runs way better. Just basic kind of stuff. I think the maps we've said a lot of this last week, but I think the maps are a lot more interesting. But there is a noticeable amount of slowdown that I don't believe is network related.
Okay.
Because it is sort of like repeatable. So yeah, I just think a little bit of
performance stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it that's the stuff I have for the news. Alex, news. Jeff, any other news you want to bring up?
No news. Just
no pinball stuff.
Just I streamed pinball last. What's that, Al?
I said no news, but video games. That's it.
Yeah. Streamed more of that Ninja Turtles game. It is fun, especially now that I'm a veteran in those early episodes of the cartoon. Like, it's been a good time.
There's been a lot of turtle power in this episode.
A lot of turtle power. Yeah.
Not a lot of Casey Jones though, especially on that pinball table.
Yeah, he gets shafted a lot.
Yeah. I think we have a hockey question coming up in the emails. So we're going to take another quick break here. So stay tuned. This will be a short one, and we will be back in just a moment. And we are back. Short little break there. Switch gears into the emails. If you've got an email, you can send them into beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. Went through the emails this week, picking them out. Here's what I found. Bacalar, why don't you take this first one coming in here from Mick?
Can we just stop calling our phones? Why not call them a PC, being they are now technically most people's personal computer? You just pick out like all like the Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Question is,
that's more Andy Rooney, I think, than Jerry Seinfeld.
Why do we call them phones? I guess I delivered it more in that style. Question is then what to now call the home computer. I disagree with the.
I think I disagree with the premise
of this.
Like, your heart's in the right place, my guy, but we're not just gonna be like, here's my PC. It's just not a thing you're gonna do.
No,
like, they've replaced phones, so they're gonna be called phones. I hear what you're saying, but you can't just. I don't know what you want to call it. You call it like, I don't know. It's not gonna be a Palm Pilot. It's not gonna be,
it's your
pocket PC. Or
I think Europe has it. I think it's a mobile. Like it's like
your mobile.
Your mobile. I think it's your mobile. You have everything. It's on the go. It goes with you. We're definitely not calling it my PC. My PC is my personal computer. It is that is a thing that has not changed.
I refuse to adopt the European mobile until there is a much greater volume of Crazy Frog related paraphernalia available here in the United States. Until we get the Crazy Frog, I would not adhere to European cell phone standards. Damn it.
Do you hear that, folks? We only have one small step, and then we're good. So let's get that.
They
going.
do have it right. Like, they're doing it right. And I guess when we called it, our version of that, I guess was like cell, right? Like a cell phone.
Yeah, the celly.
I still say cell phone.
Yeah,
every now and then.
Yeah,
but your mobile is like, you wouldn't call it your mobile.
I guess you have to say you're mobile. You're mobile.
Your personal
mobile.
communicator.
But it's
Become a
it's
mobile.
everything on the go, right? It is definitely your mobile. What is
So in 20 years, you think we'll be calling it something else?
If we make it 20 years and we're at a point where we can debate
Suspend
whether
your
cell
fucking
phones are a
disbelief
thing.
for 5 seconds and assume that we survived 2 decades. Like what?
I just don't think you can make that kind of assumption. I'm sorry. I just don't think you can.
Yeah, I'm not saying, look, for the sake of this conversation, what do you think?
All right.
It's your app. Was it in the apparat? I think is what they call it in a book. Some company will brand it like Band-Aid, like Kleenex or something like that, and we will be calling it that. There'll be some other like not evolution but leap in this thing, and we will call it that. Like if the Google Glass had caught on in a way, like it'll be something that actually works and is not like a half step, and I think we'll call it that. Is my thing.
I think if we do make it 20 years, I think we're all going to be brain chipped like we do to our fucking our pets. So we make sure they don't run away. We're all just going to have brain chips with fucking heads up displays inside our goddamn ocular implants. So,
Yeah.
I mean, don't be so positive, but I feel like, I don't know.
I can be more negative if you want me to be.
I don't know. Like I used to be like, oh, all the things I fantasized in sci-fi movies as a child, like some of them come true and they're awful, and some of them are so beyond the scope of human innovation that it's like fantasy land. And then I just feel like, we did develop a vaccine kind of quick for this thing, and we invented new ways to develop. So that is comforting in a way. So like, I don't know, find the balance there, and that's the version of like bionics you'll get. Like maybe it won't be the best.
we
Maybe
kind of
it won't work right away.
We had to sidestep maybe some testing on this one, but man, you can jump far.
If you want the good ocular implants, you need to buy the ad-free version. Okay, the ad version
true.
is not good. It's the cheap shit. It doesn't work all the time. The ads sometimes repeat. It's bad.
And sometimes, like during a lightning storm, you go blind. And
right,
blind if you're lucky.
You've got this neural implant that listen. Every 4 hours, you have to do a spam call. It kind of kicks in. You have to call somebody and tell them that their social security number's been hacked. Well, that's a dark future. Let's
it's a dark present, man.
Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, my PC is still going to be my personal computer. Thank you. My gaming.
We didn't land on like a
rig.
good
Mobile.
We didn't land on a good name.
Mobile works.
Yeah, it's going to be or it's going to be branded. It's like, how about this? Let's go back to pagers. We'll just call
you
them
son
pagers.
of a bitch.
Oh wow! Someone paged me 420 on my mobile. What the fuck?
You want to take that one? Let's go to this next one. Alex, we got a lot of this hockey stuff here, so why don't you take this one?
Okay, I'll take this hockey question. With the new NHL reverse retro jerseys announced recently, I was wondering what your least favorite hockey jerseys are. My least favorite is the Dallas Stars Mooderus jersey. Okay, I have several questions here. I'm gonna start with the first one. What is a reverse retro? Does that mean like stupid future? Is that what they're going for?
It means like new retro, like neo retro?
Like the stupid part is not a thing that they're going for. I mean, they just, they basically are doing reimagined versions of the older jerseys for all the teams.
So what's a Mooderus?
I think
is it a member of Guar?
Is it a cow that looks like
good.
a uterus? Like what is the
No, I just think like people. So this one, it's like all white. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen it?
No.
No.
It's not. It's just basically like it's just like a wild version of their old school thing. In this, I think it's cool. I think it looks good. I don't know why people dunk on it so much.
Okay, well, the one I'm looking at is not white. It is like green. It has. I'm looking at this. The Mooderus.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
It's like red and green with black is the one I'm looking at.
I see. Yeah, I see it.
I mean, they just sort of like take their, I don't know, the Capitals one I think is really good. I don't know. I think it's fun. I think hockey, and I'll try and be like as unbiased as possible. But hockey's got the best jerseys of any sport.
You think? Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. Come on. I mean, they're just more fun.
They're
just-
also the least wearable outside of
Yeah.
like sport conditions because
That's
they're so
true.
heavy. Like I like them and they're good during the winter, but any other time of year, I'm not wearing those fucking things.
Well, you really shouldn't be wearing a hockey jersey outside of like a game that you go to or playing in one. I just
Look,
feel like it's
I
not.
bought this Miroslav Satan jersey. I'm gonna wear
Satan.
it from time to time. All right. I'm not even a Buffalo Sabres fan, but I own a fucking Sabres jersey with the word Satan on it. I'm gonna get some mileage out of
What
that,
is
all
it?
right?
that's
Well,
fair.
didn't Giant Bomb have a hockey jersey?
Yes.
Everybody should wear hockey jerseys. Jeff,
Yes.
what is it? What is your least favorite of the logos?
I haven't actually gone through them all.
I think
some
we're
of them
encompassing more than just the logos, right? We're talking about like color schemes, like
Sure.
the whole
Yeah, like,
design.
Yeah.
some of them are just like not very inspired. Like I saw the Bruins one looks kind of boring.
But what about like just in general? Like what is like the actual worst hockey jersey you can think of?
The Devils.
No, the
peop-
Devils are fine.
Yeah, the Devils fine.
Just
It's I mean, I think the Devils have a great logo.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily love a lot of their other branding. I just think they have a really good plain logo. I think it's really good.
When did the Islanders switch to the like
The Fisherman?
yeah.
That was like late 90s maybe.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Um
I always
I
thought the
think-
Atlanta Thrashers jerseys were hideous when they were
yeah,
a team.
well they're not even a team anymore and
I
it
know.
was because of the jersey. No, I think a lot of people dunk on that old Coyotes jersey with like the black, green, and purple one. I think that
yeah,
one was
not a
kinda cool,
great
though.
color combo. It
Yeah.
had like a real Joker thing kind of going on, which was maybe not intentional.
And like a real, kind of goofy coyote on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think the original Ducks, like give me that.
You like that
Kid-
one?
The OG Ducks.
Yeah, like I love that. I think that looks real dope. Someone in the chat just mentioned the Red Wings not changing in like a century, and that's fair.
They
but
shouldn't.
I mean, they're an original 6 team. It's
It's a
that
good
stuff's
color
really not going
scheme. The
anywhere.
design is fine. It's distinctive to them. Like it's one of those things that I don't think they should fuck with.
If I was a Sabres fan, I would be bitter about all the changes over the years and just like how it really just never came together. And
I do think the one I have, the one from the Miroslav Satan era, is
Yeah.
actually my favorite Sabres jersey. That's the one
Was
with
that
like
the
the
silver
big
and
buffalo
black?
head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was red. It was like red, black, and silver.
yeah, I like those. Yeah, I mean, I think like I think this is a good idea. If we're just going to talk about like NHL marketing for a second, like
Yeah, let's do it.
I just think like they have when they do stuff like this, it probably generates more press for them than when someone's playing in the Stanley Cup final. So
Does
it's
that mean
the
like
right move?
NHL needs an update, or are they just save it for next year? The game. Like
Well, NHL needs an update in general. But yes, I think they will be saving it for next year because like they announced the name of the Seattle team, the Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah, but
But,
that's
like,
not
they're
this
not-
season.
It's not this season,
Oh,
and
I
also
see.
that stuff is like the materials for that team are not really in the game.
Okay.
So
Right. I'm actually scrolling through all of them now. The Coyotes one is fucking cool, man.
oh, that's
It's
a
like
turnaround.
it's that crazy coyote. Well, I was talking about the retro one was
Yeah.
like the original black. This has got a purple base with orange and like the crazy coyote in the middle. Like it's wacky and looks like some like roller hockey bullshit, but it's pretty cool. I don't know. I
think
just
there
like I
needs- when did the Coyotes become a team?
said, maybe like 15 years ago, maybe longer.
It might have actually been a little bit longer than that because I think it was like
20?
2001, 2002. They were a team.
Sure.
But anyway, I think there needs to be a 20-year minimum on whether you can have retro jerseys.
In 96. So it's
Okay, that they cross that line. Then
Does,
they're allowed.
Does Vegas have a retro jersey?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
I mean,
They've had one jersey so far, so no.
I think they remixed it a little
Okay.
bit, but like, oh no, maybe they don't get one. Yeah, they probably don't get
Oh,
one.
that's so sad. Okay.
You can't be retro and be 2 years old. That's not possible.
What they did is they just did like a new third jersey. It's like a
Okay.
red jersey with the swords. It's cool. Oh, dude, fucking hockey jerseys are cool, man.
All right, we're gonna move on from this one to the next question here. Hopefully, we can.
Do you have anything about wrestling masks? I could talk about those for a while.
Maybe. We got
The
a couple
Devils
of-
one's cool too. Anyway.
This one comes in from Alex. It says, I've been on the fence on buying the PS5, and a friend has told me to hold off as there could be a PS5 Pro in the future. How long should one wait to see if a PS5 Pro will be released? Will technology get better in a few years to warrant Sony making a Pro version?
So 2 things on that. One, they haven't said. Like the indications seem to be back when the last reset consoles were announced that like maybe this was going to be the new business model, especially for like Microsoft.
Yeah.
But they haven't said. And I think it's going to be a minimum of 3 years before we hear.
You're saying 3?
Yes.
Before
Yes.
we
I'm saying
hear.
a minimum.
I think
a
that's
minimum.
fair.
Wow, before we hear about it.
I would bet a great sum of money that they will do this. I mean, just, look at a lot of the end of the generational games that are coming out now and how garbage some of them run on base consoles from last year, right? Like they will do this. I mean,
they'll do it. I will. The one thing that maybe they have going for them versus like the last generation when they decided to do the reset is that the hardware at the outset is a lot more comparable to what's good in PC technology than those original consoles were when they launched. Like those were kind of underpowered systems. And a big part of the reason I think they went for this stuff is because they felt like they were lagging pretty far behind what the PC market could do. And they were right. And obviously those, the Pro and the Series X were not necessarily like huge leaps, but they were a leap forward. And I think in this case, I'm not saying there won't be technology for them to catch up with in a few years. Yeah. Of course there will be. But I also don't feel like they're in as bad a position with these systems as they were at the start of the last console generation.
2 years. 2
I
years.
can't-
You say 2 years.
2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
here's still an announcement.
2 years until you can buy not necessarily this is a little tough, not a Pro, but a refresh with bigger internal hard drives. So,
that's 18 months, I think.
So yeah, we got a redesign. They shrink the die. It's a slight redesign. Maybe they do something with the USB ports as well to make sure everything is functioning there on the PS5 at least, and bigger internal drive. So at least a refresh in 2 years.
But not like a whole system architecture change, just like, hey, here's more hard drive space.
I don't know what they call it, but I think there's at least a refresh.
So wait, let me get this straight. Let me just recap here. You're saying that they are not going to install better hardware, just a refresh with a bigger storage capacity.
Well,
I'm saying they will do the refresh, but the thing that Vinny is describing will come first.
Yeah. So
I mean that's no problem. That's just a new PCB. I mean,
well, right. That's it. They catch up with the technology and they make it run cooler. They put the bigger hard drive in it. Yeah. So I think it really depends. I think we're gonna get we're gonna get base console, Pro Plus before we get to the PS6. That's what I think. And in between those, there might be refreshes of the line. That's not.
They can't call a PS5 with a 2 terabyte flash drive a Pro. They can't.
No, they cannot. They probably cannot. But I think there are.
But
yeah.
Going back to the original question here, it's like, the thought process and the trial and like that whole sort of roadmap to like the decision making process should not rely on like, are they going to come out with a console in 3 years?
No,
right? Like, it's just like to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to sort of, go into that decision-making process with that angle, right? Like,
no, the reason to wait is not because of what they might do 3 years from now. The reason to wait is because there just aren't that many games for these systems yet that are demand that people go out and buy them.
And they're super hard to find. Like you might be forced to wait. I think if you can get one and, that's your question of should you wait for the Pro, I think that's a rough one if you really want one. I think that's a rough way to go. If you're like, but I'm like waiting to play Demon's Souls, the new one. And it's like, well, then you should probably get one. If there's nothing you want to play on the console, then yeah, Alex is right. Like then just hold off and wait until there's something you want to play.
Yeah, I just don't see it like, being a sort of situation where you would do that at the launch of the thing, right? Like, I think the time this question comes up is at the announcement of the Pro, and then it's like, do I wait for this thing to come out or cash in on the current one? And look, hopefully they redesign the look of this goddamn thing because I mean,
yeah, they're gonna make it bigger.
God,
they make it bigger. All right,
bigger.
So I think they're refreshing too. I think but I can see 3 additional hardware increments before we get out of this. It's like
I don't know if I'm with you on the storage thing, man, because as soon as those NVMe's come out and like they were, I don't know, it's not going to be an issue anymore.
I don't know. You can only fit one on the PS5. It's only got that one slot.
A big one.
Just get your big one. All right. Backlard, let's take this one from Jay from Illinois.
Hey guys, I have both boxers and briefs, and this applies to both. So my wife and I had a friendly argument about this. When she was taking care of the laundry, she folded my underwear. I thought this was really weird. However, she thought the fact that I didn't fold underwear was weird. Which is it? This is easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the fuck
you fold your underwear
looks like.
Where are you going to store it?
Oh, I don't fold my underwear.
Where do you put it?
Fold your underwear?
Where are you going
to throw it in my drawer?
Yeah,
because
who's gonna fucking see it?
Who's gonna see it?
No, it doesn't matter.
Be wrinkly as shit. Who cares?
No, it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
It's garbage.
It's
garbage garments.
Maybe you need to get rid of some old underwear, Vinny, because I got my underwear slate fits
Vinny,
neatly.
My drawers don't fit in my drawers.
What are you doing? Sitting there at the edge of the bed in nothing but a tank top and tighty whities, folding your underwear.
But I leave my webcam on
again. I
again.
have a nice pile of these now. Let me just put them in my drawer. Like, what are you doing?
I need to maximize my space so it gives me joy. No, it's
look. My t-shirt drawer is a mess, and as people could probably guess, and so I do have to roll those up in such a way that they fit neatly in there. But the underwear drawer, that's a fucking free for all.
No.
That is international waters, motherfucker. There's no law there. There's no rules.
I don't have a lot. I've got like a very skinny I don't have like a lot of space for my clothes, for the socks, underwear, clothes, so it has to go fit in like a little drawer so it gets folded.
Dude, there's no way stuffing all of your underwear into a ball is like a
ball.
different volume.
It's like
it's more of a tube.
Okay.
Crazy.
Second problem is listen. We all have tiers of underwear, and when do you stack them when you wash them?
Tier. Premium.
They're all premium underwear.
Yeah.
Well, you've been doing too many podcasts then.
The second one of my guys is like, I don't know if I can make it another month. I'm like, see ya.
Wow.
Out in the garbage with you.
Oh no, I've got from primo. This is the one you wear when you're feeling good day to the like. This is the one. This is like basically 2 threads in a dream all together. This is the one you wear when you're like, there's no possibility of me having to do anything in this underwear today. And I get to choose based on, since it's all folded up and next to each other, I get to choose how am I feeling today?
How are you feeling today?
You're insane.
Am I feeling like picking a winner today? I'm feeling happy today. I'm picking the good underwear.
Why?
Look, there are people in this world. There are people in this world that own underwear that deserve this level of care and thoughtfulness and respect. And I'm fairly confident in saying that none of those people are on this podcast.
You tell me you guys don't have. If I told you we're going pants shopping in a non-COVID world, you don't have that. You're like, well, I know what underwear I'm picking because this is public underwear. I gotta go. Change.
The first thing I would say to you is, I think I'd say going pants shopping with me is outside the realm of our professional relationship. Is the first thing I would say. The second thing
it's a team building exercise.
Yeah. The second thing I would say is pants are not underwear. They're different.
Yeah,
totally.
but you're wearing your good underwear out there because now your underwear has to meet other people's pants. It has to meet store pants and shake hands and be in a new environment.
No, these are funny jokes. These are funny visuals you are drawing. I like that.
Okay, this is true.
Your underwear, like with the briefcase going to work, is very funny, and I like that. But the only way I can relate to this is like, I don't wear a brand new pair of underwear to go play hockey.
There you go. You get
That's not the same thing.
Well,
if it's just like, standard we're getting dressed. You got to have that premium stock, all with updated elasticity and fit and separation and comfort and all of the things a good pair of boxer briefs demands.
Well, I like to live a life with a lot of highs and lows. And when it's laundry day and I fold the clothes and the next day I look in the drawer and it's like, there's my boy. There's my primo. There's my pair of underpants I love.
Just holding the cane, making his way out of the dryer. I'll always be here for you, Vinny.
Here's what it is for me is that the very second the elasticity of the underwear becomes untenable.
Later.
Yeah. Gotta go.
That's how
I'm not unsympathetic. I'm appreciative of the years of hard work they've put in and the efforts they have done in keeping my things snug. But at the same time, it's you gotta go.
You gotta go, man. And now I know when you're having one of your days.
Yeah, I'm wearing bad underwear.
Like, oh, it's a shitty underwear day, I guess.
Vinny, he's wearing the ones that are too tight in the thighs. That's what's going on here.
All right, so here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need you to post what underwear you're wearing in your Outlook calendar, so that I can know what kind of day for Vinny I'm getting.
Oh,
that's fair.
It's the MeUndies day, huh? Wow, he's feeling good today. Right. He must have a big meeting today. It's his power underwear.
Ooh, it's a Hanes day. All right, we got to go. Let's not have any meetings with him today.
Vinny, get it together. Like, this will change your life. Like, if you go all premium all the time, you will just walk a little lighter.
I save it for the sponsorships. That's it. That's
fair.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, folding clothes. I feel like I got my folding my clothes is pretty easy. T-shirts, underwear. Sometimes I'll do like a sock 2-fold thing if I got to get them in a drawer. Folding
socks I get.
Folding my wife's clothes is like origami. I have no idea where to start. There's straps on stuff. There's like, well, this is not symmetrical here, and like I feel like such a doofus every time I've got my pile of laundry, and it's like, okay, I folded the clothes, and hers is like, there was nothing I could do. I don't know what this is about. How these things work together. There's there's no sleeve on this. What am I supposed to do? Just make they make no sense. I don't get it.
Yeah. And like some of them are like strangely small, and I'm just like, well, this
is I don't know how to do this.
How do you fold nothing? I don't understand.
This is your pile. I gave up at some point.
Whenever it's so true. I'm always just like rummaging through all the laundry. If I find one of hers, I just throw it across the bed. I'm just like, she'll figure that out. And all I have is T-shirts. That's it. I got 1,100 T-shirts, and that's it.
And I have some button-up shirts, but I have very rare occasion to wear them these days.
Yeah. It's true. All right. You got to fold T-shirts, man. You can't let those get all wrinkly. Then you're
my T-shirts hang in a closet. So because I don't have drawer space.
You hang your T-shirts.
Yeah, I don't have
this guy.
That's how you get the pointy part in the shoulders, man. That's not good. No. You don't want that.
You need better hangers then. Yeah, you need
man. Just roll that shit up. Roll it up.
I don't have the drawer space. I don't have the drawer space.
Have you considered getting a bigger chest of drawers?
Yeah. I don't have the room in the.
You can do that.
Just kick one of your kids out, man.
Sorry, we got an armoire.
Yeah. Sorry, Max.
Your
room's the T-shirt closet now.
I used to when I had drawer space. I used to love folding the T-shirts into that like the way they would do it at like a cleaners or something, like a laundromat, into that like perfect little square, like a little pancake square. I love that. Dude. Let's go to this one from we'll wrap it up here soon. How about this one? I like this one from another Jay here, Jay McCarthy. Let's take this one.
Okay.
Why don't you take it, Alex?
Okay. Jay here says, given the choice to eliminate either encumbrance from carrying items or weapon degradation from history forever, which would you get rid of? Assume this is a horrible monkey's paw style choice, where the other will become much more popular as a result.
And there's a PS in here for you, Backler.
Yes. PS, I came upon an interesting mutual Twitter follow with Jeff, and I have to ask, Jeff, are you a big fountain pen weirdo like me?
Oh, we're going to go down that rabbit hole.
Apparently we are.
The answer is yes. Didn't you get rid of some, though?
Oh, yeah. I was way more into it a while back, but there's still some lingering side effects that I'm dealing with.
Let's quickly answer this question because I feel like there's an easy answer, right?
Yeah, I think there is too. Well, what's weird about it is when you think about these two systems, they're kind of just the same thing.
Well,
Do you
if
know what I mean?
Well, if you get rid of encumbrance, then you can carry as many weapons as you want, and you don't have to worry about them breaking.
Right, but I think the move is getting rid of weapon degradation, because that to me is just like you're just like constantly doing the same thing of juggling.
It's the other side of the coin. You could carry fewer things.
Exactly. So that's what I would get rid of. The weapon, weapon repair and all that junk. I hate that.
I hate both is the thing. I really don't like either.
But you know what though? I think it's the encumbrance is a more realistic thing. I think though it's a more reasonable thing.
The way it's
depends on how it's applied.
Bad. Yeah.
Because here, if it's a thing where you can get you can offload encumbrance over time, like you level up, you get the ability to add more stuff as you gain more stuff as the game goes along. I can kind of deal with that. If it's literally just like, here's your hard limit, and then at every couple of hours you have to look at your inventory and be like, well, I got to dump X number of things if I want to do this. That sucks shit. Now, but I also, I'm trying to think of a game where I actually enjoyed weapon degradation as a concept, and I can't think of one.
There were some implementations. I think Breath of the Wild, and this is like the best of the worst because I also hate it, did it pretty well because you got like a slightly bigger hit when the thing shattered, and it was a whole scene when your weapon shattered, and I feel like it made sometimes a fight exciting if your thing just shattered on impact. But that being said, it was also like, do really my swords have to break all the time? And also, this is the Master Sword, need a cooldown. I think I'd probably get rid of. I as somebody in games who collects everything, the encumbrance, especially when they implement it where like you're gonna move slower now, and it's like I can't. I just want this stuff that I'm never gonna use to stick in my pockets forever. So I'd probably get rid of encumbrance forever.
Okay.
But that would mean that
I think either is a valid choice.
Yeah. All right. Bacalar, let's take this last question and get out of here.
Hey, Beastcast, what New Jersey stereotype do you think is most unfair?
Comes from Jake.
I definitely think the sort of like polluted state
it's a dump
is incredibly unfair.
Parts of it absolutely are, but they are the parts you can see from the turnpike.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the entire planet lands at Newark, and their first impression of New Jersey is like smokestacks forever. And it's like this horrific environmental disaster before your very eyes, and it's like, welcome to New Jersey. I get that, but this is the motherfucking Garden State.
It is. Okay? There are beautiful parts of New Jersey
where where
shout out to the Pine Barrens.
Like the shore and all of the suburbs, like it really is a beautiful place, especially
and a multifaceted place.
Right. And you go west with the mountains and all that. It really is nice. So I think that part of New Jersey is very much misunderstood. I also do think, like, I'll say it, that Jersey Shore show like completely fucked us. It fucked us in a way that like I sometimes struggle picking what was worse for New Jersey. Like there's a lot of things that were bad for New Jersey, and like Jersey Shore's up there.
Yeah,
it's like Chris Christie.
Did it do more damage? Did it do more damage to New Jersey in particular, or did it do more damage to the Italian American community as a whole? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, I have complicated opinions about that. Not being an Italian person, I will speak for them. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, but I mean, the show's called Jersey Shore. It's not called, hey, here's a bunch of Italian people who live in New Jersey.
It's not called
Some of them not even from
It's not
New
Welcome
Jersey.
to Guido Land.
It's not called The Sopranos.
Right. I mean,
the best
Sopranos
thing
did a
to
lot
come
of
out of
damage
New
too.
Jersey. Yeah.
I think I was shocked I was not shocked. That's too strong a word. I was surprised to learn that New Jersey is if not one of the most densely populated states in the Union.
It is the most, I think.
It is,
and one of the most diverse in terms of backgrounds of people, and it is a mix of a state. It is definitely it is.
Drive an hour in any direction, you will be in a completely different zone.
Yeah,
and you just moving out to suburbia, even being closer to the city than where I grew up. I mean, you talk about it changing in a mile. Like you can drive 5 miles and have gone through 17 cities. And like, you know, there's just so much of that.
There are towns with 5 people in it. The thing I will say, that a stereotype of New Jersey that I think is pretty much hits the nail on the head, which I hate, is it is a spaghetti of like turnpikes. And like, if you want to go like 5 miles that way, you're getting on a highway or a turnpike, mostly turnpikes, to go that way. And they're not really taking a side street. It is a mess for driving. I think
New Jersey and Massachusetts, I think, are the 2 biggest offenders of that in the United States.
It is. Well, somebody who doesn't like driving, it's like, well, you don't like driving, Jersey's kind of a bad spot.
It's just, you know, it's an East Coast artery in many ways. And I feel like, you know, that, it sucks. Like me driving to Vinny, as the crow flies, it should be 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's an hour.
And it's an hour.
Yeah. But you know what? I will say this. I came into my East Coast life having a very specific stereotype of what New Jersey was, and, you know, not really liking it very much, especially considering, again, the Turnpike was pretty much my first experience with it. But over time, I've come to understand the things that you guys have said. I think that New Jersey actually has some really lovely parts to it. And I think it's unfair. I understand it. I think we make fun of New Jersey because there are so many wild things about it. And it's just in the collective consciousness in a way that maybe a lot of other states aren't. But at the same time, it's I think some of that the mockery is undeserved. And I think it's especially undeserved when Delaware is right there. Right there.
I got no beef with Delaware.
If New Jersey is an artery of America, Delaware is a clog in the artery of America.
I thought you were going to say it's like the gallbladder of America.
No.
I thought you were
a piece of fat that you ate 10 years ago that is still hanging out in there.
I think Delaware is just, you know, not
it's a place where people register corporations. It's not a place where people live.
You drive through Delaware. You sneeze and you miss it. Like, you know, you go up 95. I did that trip 1,000 times when I was in school, and like, you're like, oh, we're out of Delaware already. Okay, cool.
Its entire state status as a statehood feels like a tax dodge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Delaware does have like a cool shore thing going on for sure. It's like 2 miles long, but yeah, you know, I really got nothing against Delaware.
I have everything against Delaware. Because Delaware is now my enemy.
Yeah.
Now it's Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Let's start our East Coast beef. Now, Staten Island.
No, but
I'm already beefing with Staten Island.
I'll say this, like, I got my West Coast friends who come over and have only known, you know, New York City, like a lot of our, you know, San Francisco brothers and sisters who come over here. And, you know, I remember a few times I brought them over to my house, you know, and they were just like, oh, like on the way out here, they're like, oh, okay, this isn't on fire and just like a bunch of, you know, like delis. You know, some of it proud of.
Yeah.
Look, it might be all diners, but yes. But no, I think once you're here for a little while, I think people really start to like it. So
here's my number one thing for New Jersey, aside from the amazing diversity that's in it, is my practical thing for New Jersey as somebody who lived in New York for a very long time. I should specifically say New York City and Long Island. You gain an hour of your life back if you want to go anywhere else in the country that is west of New York City. Like drive, if you are in New York City or Long Island, if you want to go anywhere west of that's it. Driving through the city will take an hour, and it is amazing. It still shocks me because I calculate time. Like I live in Queens or I live in Long Island. Like, oh, that's going to take, it only takes an hour now.
Yeah,
it's like trying to navigate the hidden forest in Zelda. Like it's just shit keeps moving around. The normal on ramps you would take are somehow gone, and there's like it's directing you to a whole other fucking burrow before you can get on a highway.
There wasn't construction here a second ago. It just appeared in front of me. Yeah, it is.
Telling you, I just like if something bad happens in Western Long Island, like you're trapped. You better learn how to swim because you're trapped. I hope you have a boat. You have a boat.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. I think that's our last question there.
I mean, I'll gladly shit on Long Island for another 3 hours. If
Long Island's another episode. We'll go through that one. But thanks everybody for listening. No corrections this week. We'll be back next week. Let's see. We got let's see what happened. I think Jan and Ben and Jason played some Worms on the site. Let me kick up the music here.
That would be a good time. Yes.
Yes. Here we go. You can watch that on the site for some premium business. Brad and I played some Good Job last night as well. Alex, you drumming tonight?
I am drumming tonight, and it sounds like right after this, Jeff Gersman's going to be playing some Immortals Phoenix Rising on the site.
Oh, live?
Live, I believe.
Well, we'll go stay tuned for that. We'll have the hotspot tomorrow, and I believe some Breaking Brad coming up on Friday tomorrow as well, if you are a premium subscriber and you get all that previous stuff. Jeff Bacalar, thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, my friends.
Alex
Thank you for
Navarro,
having me.
thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Vinny.
Everybody out there, thank you very much. Anybody who bought merch during the sale, we thank you very much. There's still merch to be had. Bought Alex's face on an ornament.
This is the face that runs the place, is what I'm saying.
Oh wow, that's
Ooh,
good. But
I like that.
But that
I heard
sale,
those jumpsuits. People have
Track
digging those
suits, they
jumpsuits.
like 'em.
Oh yeah, the tracksuits, baby.
all right, the sale is over, but you can still get some merch. Store.giantbomb.com. Thanks everybody for listening, and we will be back next week.